Kalaheo Federal Credit Union presents OIA Football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network. 95.1 FM, AM 760, and hawaiisportsradio.com. Brought to you by Hawaii Pacific Health, Dial Electric Supply, Fun Factory, and DSE Hawaii. Now, it's time for the OIA Division II Semifinal featuring the Kalaheo Mustangs versus the Pearl City Chargers. Broadcasting live from Skipa Diaz Stadium in Kalihi, Oahu, here are play-by-play announcers Kyle Galdera and Paul Brecht.
Aloha and welcome to Kalihi here at Farrington High School. Kyle Galdera and Paul Brecht, and happy Halloween to everyone listening in. I don't know about the tricks, Paul, but we should be in for a treat tonight as Kalaheo and Pearl City square off to start our OIA playoff action here in the D2.
Very excited for this one here tonight between a couple of high-quality teams, the 2 seed and the 3 seed here in the OIA Division II ranks. A couple of teams who have faced off once already this season, though I'm sure one side looking forward to this matchup and potentially getting some revenge, the other looking to prove that it wasn't a regular season fluke.
Kalaheo, the 2 seed, coming into this one at 6-1 in league play. Pearl City at 5-2. The 3 seed, and basically they're separated because Kalaheo beat Pearl City earlier this year, like you said, Paul, with a 35-14 margin back on October 11th. So we'll see if Kalaheo can double down on that victory and move on to the championship round next week, or if Pearl City can charge ahead with the upset. When we come back, we'll have kickoff and more. You're listening to OIA Football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
The OIA lives here. KGU AM, K236CR. Honolulu is the Hawaii Sports Radio Network on 95.1 FM and AM 760.
No matter what side of Oahu you stay, personalized, convenient, and efficient financial service is the Kalaheo Federal Credit Union way. Visit kalaheofcu.org and join today using your mobile device.
Kalaheo FCU is federally insured by the NCUA.
For the few, the proud, the first to fight, Kalaheo Federal Credit Union has your 6. Whether you're active duty, civilian, or a member of a Marine household, Kalaheo FCU has a branch on base. Visit kalaheofcu.org to join today.
Kalaheo FCU is federally insured by the NCUA.
At Fun Factory, we can't make traffic jams fun, and we can't make waiting in line fun, but we can make this weekend fun with 4 locations on Oahu. There's a Fun Factory near you. Visit funfactorygames.com for more info. Fun Factory, where the fun is made for you.
Dial Electric Supply is Hawaii's premier lighting distributor and supplier, serving commercial and retail customers alike. Located at 2240 Kalua-Opalena Street, Dial Electric's expanded retail showroom features one of the largest selections of lighting fixtures, fans, and smart home lighting solutions. Schedule an appointment with one of their design experts to create a home lighting design that you will enjoy for many years to come. Visit dialelectricsupply.com or give them a call at 808-845-7811.
Here's Dr. Jamie Fukui with a health tip from Hawaii Pacific Health.
When it comes to breast cancer, early detection could save your life. That's why it's recommended all women get a mammogram every year, starting at age 40, or younger if there's a history of breast cancer in your family. Schedule your mammogram today at one of our medical centers or clinics. Women who get a mammogram in October will receive a special gift while supplies last.
Online scheduling is easy at hawaiipacifichealth.org/mammogram.
DSE Hawaii, a proud supporter of OIA Sports on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, is a locally owned and operated union electrical contracting company. Established in 1988, DSE Hawaii provides services to general contractors, building owners, property management companies, architects, and engineers. Their commitment to the electrical industry is focused on quality, efficiency, and most importantly, customer service and satisfaction. DSE Hawaii, providing quality work in the most efficient manner.
Fun Factory can't make taking tests fun, and they can't make homework fun, but they can make good grades fun. Upload your report card and turn in your A's, B's, M's, and MP's into game tokens. Visit funfactorygames.com/honor-roll.
OIA Football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network is presented by Kalaheo Federal Credit Union.
Welcome back to Kalihi, a Halloween edition of Friday Night Lights. Kyle Galdera and Paul Brecht here with you. Michael Esquero on hand as well. Ku'ule Agbayani in the studio. And Paul, we're just seconds away from opening kickoff. Kalaheo won the toss. They elected to defer, so they'll receive the second half. That means Pearl City will receive here in the first half. And this opening kickoff powered by Dial Electric Supply, Hawaii's premier lighting distributor and supplier. Kalaheo kicking from right to left from our broadcast position, from Makai to Mauka. Kalaheo wearing its black tops and white pants, fakes the kickoff and now goes into a different formation. Pearl City wearing their white tops and black pants.
Almost feels Halloween-esque, a little trick.
Bit of a pooch kick, fair caught by Pearl City. So after all that, the Chargers will get the first possession at their own 29-yard line. Something cool before we get going, Paul, for Kalaheo. Their captain out on the coin toss was Jeremiah Toilolo. He's out for what we believe to be the rest of the year with an upper body injury. He suffered what looked to be a collarbone injury a couple of weeks ago right here on our airwaves. So that was cool to see. He got that honor for his team. And that sports injury report brought to you by Hawaii Pacific Health, creating a healthier Hawaii.
Really nice to get him out on the field for this OIA Division II semifinal game. Unfortunate for Kalaheo that that's the only time tonight he'll be out on the field.
For Pro City, Kaika Torres in the shotgun, trying to get the Chargers offense charged up. Empty set, two receivers to either side, and it's going to be a handoff up the middle as one of the receivers ran and took the handoff. That was Alohi Gaspar, the leading rusher for Pro City, averaging more than 9 yards per carry. And he picked up a big chunk of 5 yards right there.
Yeah, isn't it funny that a good gain on first down, 5 yards, actually would bring his season average down?
Gaspar behind the quarterback. Torres has it, hands it off to Gaspar again, running right through the Kalaheo D-line, and that's going to be a big pickup of about 12. That'll not only move the chains, Paul, but get Pearl City quickly into Kalaheo territory.
And this gets us a little bit into our keys tonight, where you and I both were talking about it before we hopped on air. We're hoping to see Pearl City lean on their rushing attack a bit tonight. Think that that would open up a lot, especially with a talented quarterback in Kaika Torres slinging the rock around.
For Pearl City, three receivers to the right. Single wide far side, and Gaspar for the third time scampers to the left side through a hole. Has the edge, and he's finally pushed out of bounds around the 10-yard line. And that will go for nearly 38. It's been all Gaspar for the Chargers. And they're already, Paul, into the red zone thanks to Gaspar's rushing ability.
3 touches, and Gaspar's got the defense gasping. It's been excellent to start for the Chargers. A dream start for the 3 seed tonight.
So already down to the 12-yard line of Kalaheo, just a minute and 10 seconds into this ball game. No score yet. Kalaheo, the designated home team, even though we're playing at Farrington due to their 2nd seed. Pearl City, the 3rd seed in OIA D2 play. Tomorrow night, Castle, the 4th seed, and the number 1 seed Roosevelt will go at it. Gaspar runs again, and this time he's finally bottled up, but that's a bit of an exaggeration because he's actually bottled up after a gain of 5.
Yeah, bottled up after making it 2nd down and manageable once again. And tell you what, a good job by Pearl City. Sometimes you see coaches or you see teams overthink it. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Continue to go to the young man as he continues to gash this Kalaheo defense for big gain after big gain.
2nd and 6 now from the 9 of Kalaheo. Mustangs trying to play tough D after giving up a bunch of big runs up the middle. Receiver comes in motion, but it is another handoff to Gaspar. Running left, hits the edge, and he is in for the score. Gaspar doing it all for the Chargers as Pearl City now leads 6-0. And Paul, it seems like the blueprint followed by Pearl City is basically give it to Gaspar. He hits the hole, makes one jump cut to the left, makes it around the edge, and gets a bunch of yardage.
It's all he's really needed to do. He's got a quick first step, and as soon as he gets around the edge, he bounced around that left side, and no chance for anyone from Kalaheo to get him before he gets to that front left pylon. And Mustangs on the, or pardon me, Chargers on the board first.
Kick is up and good. 2 minutes gone in this one already. Pearl City with the 7-0 lead over Kalaheo. You're listening to OIA Football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Discover the fresh flavors at Pearl at Kalawau's newly renovated restaurant. From loco moco and fried rice plates to Hawaiian Food Fridays, every dish is inspired by Hawaii's finest local ingredients. Stop by any day. No need to be a golfer. Enjoy their full-service bar, daily dining, and happy hour specials weekdays from 3 to 6:30. Planning a special celebration? Their indoor and outdoor venues, custom catering, and stunning views will make any event unforgettable. Pearl at Kalawau. Gather, celebrate, and savor with aloha.
DSE Hawaii, a proud supporter of OIA Sports on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, is a locally owned and operated union electrical contracting company. Established in 1988, DSE Hawaii provides services to general contractors, building owners, property management companies, architects, and engineers. Their commitment to the electrical industry is focused on quality, efficiency, and most importantly, customer service and satisfaction. DSE Hawaii, providing quality work in the most efficient manner.
You're listening to OIA Athletics on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760. Brought to you by Hawaii Pacific Health.
Zach Davis making an immediate impact for Kalaheo, normally the top receiver for the Mustangs. He returns the ensuing kickoff all the way out to the 37-yard line. So welcome back to Farrington High School. Kyle Galdera alongside Paul Brecht. Paul, it was all Pro City in that first drive thanks to their main man at the running back position, picking up all 70 yards for the Chargers.
Alohi Gasper certainly going to earn a water break over on the sideline after that one. Like you mentioned, all 70 yards to find pay dirt on the opening possession for Pearl City.
So Kalaheo starts its drive with the run up the middle as well. It looks like Javen Carrero, I believe his family is actually right in front of us. He picks up a hard-earned 2 yards. 2nd and 8 coming up here for the Mustangs.
Carrero actually had his lone 100-yard rushing game of the season against Pearl City. That was back when these two faced off a few weeks ago.
Kalaheo led by their quarterback Nai Kalau'oka'aia, one of the top passers not only at the D2 ranks but in the state. As he's in the shotgun, 3-step drop, looking right, throwing right, and he overthrows his intended receiver, Carrero. And 3rd and long coming up now for Kalaheo. Already a good job by Pro City on offense. We'll see if they can continue with the defensive stand here.
Really big opportunity for the Chargers here after such a strong opening drive where you can shut out your opponent 3 and out. And especially after what was a nice kickoff return by Zach Davis, you'd love to get off the field and force an early punt, try and go up by 2 scores.
Kalau'oka'aia in the gun again. Short drop back, dancing around, now running right. He can run with it. He is going to take off. He hits the edge, and he's going to pick up at least 10 for the first down. Nice job there by the senior quarterback, recognizing the pressure, scampering away, making the quick decision to take off and pick up the first down.
And you said it. That's something that he can do. He has over 2,000 yards passing this season, but also has just about 200 yards on the ground as well. He wants to throw it, but if you give it to him, especially on 3rd down to move the chains, Kalau'oka'aia will love to run and scramble.
25 total touchdowns accounted for, 22 through the air, 3 on the ground. 1st and 10 from their own 47. And Carrero plunges up the middle, picking up about 4 yards there.
And Kalaheo got a nice push from their offensive line there where Carrero just got a head of steam and ran directly up the middle into nobodies for a nice little gain on 2nd
and about 6 to go from the 49 of Pearl City. Kalaheo splitting receivers out to either side. Now another handoff to Carrero up the middle. Conservative play calling so far, but Kalaheo moving the ball well. We'll see what they do now here on 3rd and 1.
This is one of my questions here tonight for Kalaheo's offense. We mentioned it before, without your 2nd leading receiver in Jeremiah Toilolo. He's somebody who has over 600 yards through the air this season.
And right over the middle, the seam pass. Seamless. Kalaheo in for 6. Beautifully done. Kalau'oka'aia, I believe that was Zach Davis scampering.
I think it was Locke
Actually,
Mormon.
you're right. That was Mormon, who's basically filling in for Toilolo. He got loose, untouched. A 49-yard touchdown pass, and we could be tying up this game if Kalaheo can knock in the extra point.
And I was just about to say, I'm curious about the answer by Kalaheo when you lose such a dynamic receiver in Toilolo, and a great job by Mormon busting down the seam. And like you said, no issue as Kalaheo looking to tie things up.
And Kalaheo looking to get its personnel on the field after that long 49-yard touchdown strike. No shortage of offense so far here tonight as we're just 4 minutes into this game. Extra point is up and good. So we are knotted at 7. Kalaheo and Pearl City trying to move on in the D2 playoffs. This is OIA football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
No matter what side of Oahu you stay, personalized, convenient, and efficient financial service is the Ko'olau Federal Credit Union way. Visit ko'olaufcu.org and join today using your mobile device.
Ko'olau FCU is federally insured by the NCUA.
For the few, the proud, the first to fight, Ko'olau Federal Credit Union has your six. Whether you're active duty, civilian, or a member of a Marine household, Ko'olau FCU has a branch on base. Visit ko'olaufcu.org to join today.
Ko'olau FCU is federally insured by the NCUA.
Who doesn't love a good pizza? Visit Slice of Waikiki, your favorite Pizza by the Slice shop. For over 13 years, they've been serving up huge, freshly made slices and delicious appetizers for locals and visitors alike. Drop by their new location at 333 Seaside Avenue to instantly satisfy your pizza cravings by the slice or build your own whole pie masterpiece. Visit sliceofwaikiki.com for pickup, delivery, and catering options. Slice of Waikiki, freshly made pizza with aloha.
Kalaheo kicking off to Pearl City, tied at 7 here in the D2 semifinals of the OIA playoffs. Kyle Galdera and Paul Brecht here with you. Fun game so far, Paul. Kind of what we expected. We're expecting a high-scoring affair, but for both teams to get off to great starts on offense, I think it's really going to come down to who makes the first defensive stop, who limits the turnovers, and then who can finish things off on offense.
I think that's a great way to look at it because, like you said, both of these teams with talented offenses, and we saw exactly what both teams want to do. Pearl City a little bit more with the ground game. They have a couple of strong backs, not just Alohi Gasper, but on top of that, you look at Kalaheo, they're a little more balanced. They like to go to the ground a couple of times to open up that passing attack, and they have a couple of weapons there. Like you said, it's going to come down to maybe who's able to create more possessions.
Torres throws it for the first time tonight. It looked like an incomplete pass, but it was ruled backwards, so it's actually going to go down as a loss of about 4, as the pass was intended for Noah Sullivan and then picked up. And basically, instead of no gain, it's going to be a loss of 4. And now, looks like the referees will talk about it. Personally, I thought it was an incomplete pass. Maybe that's what they're looking at. But we'll see.
I also did, but I don't have the greatest angle from down at this point. So
pardon me, Paul. Looking at our instant replay, courtesy Michael Lascaro, it was a forward pass. So unfortunately, the referees can't see that. And now they have talked about it.
Maybe one of them did see it, perhaps?
So the pass was ruled incomplete. After talking about it, they made the right call, and that brings up 2nd and 10.
And just a nice job by the officials right there communicating and getting the right call. Even if it took a little bit longer than we would have liked, I'm sure. It's important they got it right. 2nd down and 10, and a nice break for Pearl City.
Adriel Jonas Garrido, the second running back for Pearl City, takes this handoff, and he's going to be stuffed. Nice job there by one of the D linemen, big number 55, Sean Usiardi, getting in there, the senior, making the stop. No gain, 3rd and 10 coming up.
And Usiardi there and laying down the boom, picked him up and threw him down just like that, 3rd and long. And this is the type of situation that Pearl City would like to avoid. A big reason why you see them going to the ground on 1st and 2nd down typically.
Chargers 3rd and 10 from their own 24. 5 minutes gone here in the first. Torres dancing, still dancing. Nice pocket. Now he's going to hit the left side and run for it. breaks a tackle, and he's finally brought down after a gain of 9. And Paul, had the defender not got him on the high shoulder pad, he might have gotten 20 more yards.
Yeah, a good job trying to get the first down after nothing was open downfield. And tell you what, that was a nice job by the Kalaheo coverage unit to make it that difficult. And now 4th and 1. Looks like Pearl City might be going for it in their own territory.
2 receivers either side. 4th and 1. It is a handoff. Jonas Garrido has it. He plunges up the middle for a gain of 3. And Pearl City has the first down. Gutsy call, but with the success, Paul, of the Pearl City running game so far, seems like a natural call to make there.
Yeah, I mean, you had one run so far tonight that didn't go for 5 or more yards. I totally understand the call, and yeah, absolutely risky, but in the playoffs, if you want to advance, especially as the lower seed, sometimes you got to make some gutsy calls and have them pay off.
Halfway through the first quarter, we're tied at 7. Pearl City running it on first down. Kalaheo, nice job there on defense, making a stop for a loss of 1. 2nd 11, Jonas Garrido running there at the 35 of Pearl City.
And Garrido's one of those other options that we talked about for this Pearl City rushing attack. While he's not necessarily as efficient as Alohi Gasper at over 9 yards per carry, Garrido averaging 6.5 yards per touch that he gets.
Pearl City trips to the right side now. 2nd and 11 on the throw into quadruple coverage, Paul. That ball pinballed around off of 2 defenders' hands. Pearl City very lucky that Torres wasn't intercepted right there.
Like you said, into, I think, quadruple coverage, goes off the hands of the receiver, and luckily doesn't fall into the arms of the Kalaheo defense. Brings up 3rd down and 11 now for Pearl City. Back-to-back 3rd down and longs for the Chargers.
Pearl City now with a bunch formation with a triangle of receivers to the left side. Torres looking that way, now running right, throws over the middle. Looked like some contact, and now the late flag comes in from the down judge. And I'm a little bit surprised, Paul, because with the playoffs, we now have a 7-man referee crew, which is more than the normal 5-man crew. And all 3 deep officials let it go, and the line of scrimmage official threw that flag.
Yeah, certainly an interesting area for the flag to come from, but nonetheless, like you mentioned, it did look like there was contact, perhaps a little bit too early, and that is ultimately what the call is, defensive pass interference against Kalaheo. A big mistake by the Mustangs delivers a fresh set of downs for Pearl City now at midfield.
And Kalaheo, I don't think disagreeing with the call, but like I kind of was disagreeing with why that official threw it. But nonetheless, pass interference is the correct call. And after the 15-yard penalty, it's now 1st and 10 Pearl City at midfield. 5:17 left to go in the first quarter.
But now another opportunity for Kalaheo to answer some adversity. They answered the first bit after giving up a game-opening touchdown. Now can they come back from a bad penalty?
And that's going to be a run to the right side. Jonas Garrido has it. And Kalaheo's stout defensive line with a loss of 4 yards there. And that was Patrick Kennedy being credited with the tackle for loss there. And it seems like, Paul, after being really gouged and gashed on that first drive, the Kalaheo defense has woken up a bit, getting another tackle for loss.
I was thinking the same thing. The front 7 all of a sudden coming alive for Kalaheo, and it's going to be important to try and slow down what has been a powerful rushing attack for Pearl City.
Kalaheo playing an interesting 3-7-2 formation, basically 3 on the line as another run is bottled up for no gain. So you have 3 on the line, 2 deep defensive backs, and then you have an arrangement of 6 or 7 kind of amoeba linebacker, cornerback arrangement. Interesting. That's one of those formations that normally you see on like a 3rd and 20 where you want to play a deep zone, but it seems like Kalaheo's confusing Pearl City a bit as far as pass coverage goes.
Yeah, throw some different looks at them, and it's looked to work so far on this second drive. It's just one penalty has allowed the drive to continue.
We'll see what Torres does here. Trips to the right side, shotgun snap, rolling right. Plenty of time, throws on the run, and this into triple coverage again. is batted away. The intended receiver, Noah Sullivan, couldn't come up with it. 4th and long coming up.
Some contact again there. That time no flag, and I think the correct no flag on that as well. Looks like the defender waited until the ball was there and both players made a play on it.
Something to keep in mind too, when the pass is tipped, there is no pass interference. So because Kalaheo tipped it first, all that other contact, as long as it's not unnecessary, is good to go.
Good point out by you,
so
and a good stop by Kalaheo.
Exactly, forcing the stop. 4th and 13 for Pearl City. They look to punt it from their own 46.
This is what we talked about before, right? The possession battle.
Ooh, Kalaheo almost has it. Punter was contacted but not roughed, so the play goes on. And Kalaheo will return it to their own 27. So with 3:33 left in the first quarter, we'll keep it here, Paul, but a 7-7 battle so far. It seems like after that stop, Kalaheo kind of getting a little bit of that momentum back, right? They gave up a big score on a drive by Pearl City, but they came back with the 49-yard touchdown pass, made a great stop there, and now here they come up back on offense.
Like I mentioned before, what do you do in the face of adversity? After they gave up a touchdown, they go back and they score on their own. After they make a boneheaded penalty on 3rd and long, they make the stop, and now they've given their offense an opportunity to give themselves the first lead of the game.
Kalaheo back in the gun for Kalaheo. Receiver in motion, fakes the handoff, now throws it right to the solo receiver. Bit of a tunnel screen there as he picks up 2 yards. And as we near the 3-minute mark in the first quarter, we remind you that OIA Sports on HSRN is brought to you in part by Hawaii Pacific Health. Hawaii Pacific Health takes the team approach to providing the expert care you need when and where you need it. Together, we are creating a healthier Hawaii. So that short completion brings up 2nd and 7. Kalaheo doesn't huddle, but they also don't move quickly. They basically get set, check the signals from their coaches, and then snap the ball. Kalaheo hands it, and it's going to be a run to the left side by Carrero, and he picks up a hard-earned 1 yard, 3rd down, and 6 coming up here.
And now going back to the other side, it's an opportunity for Pearl City's defense to make an answer of their own. Last time on 3rd down, you end up giving up a touchdown, a long touchdown, and now this time an opportunity to force a punt, give your offense their opportunity right back. We talk about it all the time, Kyle. Complementary football wins games, especially in the playoffs.
Kalaheo spreading it out. 5 receivers, 3 to the left. 3 to the right, 2 to the left. Kalaheo on the run again, and he finds an open receiver, Carrero. And after the big hit, it's going to be a gain of 4, and that'll bring up 4th and 1. Looked like the receiver was hit in bounds, but the clock is stopped for some reason.
A great job by the defense to stop it before the first down marker, but also a great job by Jaden Carrero, I believe it was, who hauled that in to just make sure to hold on, right? Take the big hit and not drop it. Makes a 4th down and 1, and we already saw Pearl City go for this in the first quarter.
Yeah, Kalaheo's going to take a timeout here. It seems like they might also be looking to go for it on 4th down. We'll keep it here, and Paul, seeing that Kalaheo's basically, you're leaning on the run game and the short pass game and trying to get some yak from its receivers. Do you think that they go back to the run, or do they develop some type of screen, some type of slip pass, some type of slant, and try to pick up the first down that way?
It's an interesting question. I honestly just put the ball in the hands of Nai Kala'oka'aia, where he's a bigger quarterback, and maybe you give him the option on some short routes and then also the option to just tuck it and run. It's 4th down and 1, and if he just catches, sees something that he likes up front, go on and pick it on up.
And in addition to taking a time out to talk about it, it seemed like the coaching staff from Kalaheo was actually talking to the referees about something that happened. So could it have been that pass interference that was called from the opposite official? They can't overturn it, of course, but maybe just planting a little seed for later in the game. And I wonder, Paul, if on Halloween we might see some trickeration from the Mustangs later in this one.
It'd be fun. Certainly be a treat.
Kala'oka'aia in the gun. Trips to the left side. He is going to keep it. You called it, Paul. He runs up the middle, and he'll have plenty of room. He picks up, he needed one. He picked up 3. First down, Kalaheo at its own 40.
A great job by him as well. Saw exactly where he needed to go. It looked like he took the A gap there and just powers ahead. A strong athlete showing off the legs and doing exactly what Kalaheo needed to keep this drive alive.
140 and winding here in the first quarter. Still tied at 7. Kalaheo driving here at its own 40. Mustangs in no hurry. Kalaheo with a receiver to either side. And Carrero directly behind him. He does hand it off to his shifty running back. Carrero up the middle for 2 yards. And we talked about it, Paul. The Mustangs seem content to kind of poke and prod at this Pro City defense. And then if something opens up like it did when the Loch Mormon pass happened, basically over the seam, they're going to take advantage of that.
And honestly, can you blame them with a quarterback like Nai-Kalao Oka'aya, who's got a big arm, has the ability to take off and pick up a first down with his legs? Why not try and make it, third and manageable?
Oka'aya keeps it after the brilliant fake handoff, and that's going to be a pass to the right side. And that's Mormon again filling in for Toilolo, doing a great job picking up a first down there to the 48 of Pro City.
And I mentioned it at the start of this quarter, Kyle, the question for Kalaheo's offense: who steps up in the absence of Jeremiah Toilolo, the guy who had more than 600 yards of receiving this year, 5 touchdowns, and so far it's looked like Loch Mormon is more than up to the task.
Under 30 seconds left in the first quarter. Kalaheo on the move. Oka'aya hands it off. Carrero again working hard, picking up 2 yards. And that should be the end of the first quarter. Kalaheo driving, looking to break this 7-7 stalemate. And we indeed hit the end of the first quarter. Here in the Division II playoffs, Kalaheo trying to advance. Pro City trying to pull the upset. You're listening to OIA Football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Dial Electric Supply is Hawaii's premier lighting distributor and supplier, serving commercial and retail customers alike. Located at 2240 Kalua-Opalena Street, Dial Electric's expanded retail showroom features one of the largest selections of lighting fixtures, fans, and smart home lighting solutions. Schedule an appointment with one of their design experts to create a home lighting design that you will enjoy for many years to come. Visit dialelectricsupply.com or give them a call at 808-845-7811.
Here's the dream. Keep doing what you love. What drives you? What's your passion? Whether you're catching waves, climbing mountains, or playing with the grandkids, the choices you make now can help you keep living your life your way. At Hawaii Pacific Health, we're here to help you live healthier with preventive care and a personalized approach. Learn more at hawaiipacifichealth.org/healthierlife.
What if we told you could turn $1 into 2 just by going shopping? Check out DoubleDownDealsHawaii.com, Honolulu's home for buy one get one free deals from your favorite local spots, including Big City Diner and Fun Factory. Visit DoubleDownDealsHawaii.com today before the best deals are all gone. That's DoubleDownDealsHawaii.com, where you don't need luck to save.
OIA Athletics on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Welcome back to Farrington High School. Kyle Galdera and Paul Brecht. Kalaheo wasting no time starting the second quarter as Carrero runs to the right for a 19-yard pickup. Mustangs on the move at the 29 of Pro City. Nice pocket flip pass to the scampering Avon Mahukona. And on the end around pass, he's going to pick up 3 yards. And Paul, we've seen a lot of gadgetry as far as Kalaheo's offense is concerned. I had a chance to watch their practice last night. They were doing a lot of that, a lot of quick passes to the flat. And like we saw earlier on the touchdown pass to Mormon, a lot of slant passes, trying to take advantage of space in the Pro City defense.
That's the key word, right? Take advantage of space. Allow your playmakers to get into space, because once they get into space, that's when it's a lot easier to make defenders miss, though they do have some guys who could make them miss in a phone booth.
Oka'aya goes deep on this one. The receiver went in. He probably should have gone out. Zach Davis, a little bit of miscommunication there. Fortunately for Pro City, it falls incomplete. 3rd and 7 coming up. 10:54 left in the second quarter. We're tied at 7. Pearl City, the 3 seed. Kalaheo, the 2 seed. The winner moves on to play for the D2 Championship next week against the winner of tomorrow's matchup between Castle and Roosevelt.
Big bend don't break opportunity right now for Pearl City on 3rd down, about 7 yards to go.
Even Mahukona lined up as the running back. He's going to block for his quarterback, Kalaheo. The ball tipped away, though, as it was intended for Carrero, the normal running back, who was split out as a receiver there. Nice defense by Pearl City. And we'll see what Kalaheo does here. 4th and 7 coming up.
Keali'iomana Keola with the pass breakup right there, and he's probably hitting himself a little bit because it probably could have been an interception, and there was a lot of daylight in front of him if he was able to come up with it.
Nice crowd here. It's a neutral site, but both Pearl City coming from the central Oahu area, Kalaheo coming from the windward side. I guess you can call it halfway here in Kalihi. Kalaheo will go for it. Kala'oka'aia in the gun. A bunch formation. There are trips to the right side, but they're all huddled up. And now Kalaheo will call timeout. We'll take a break as well and be right back. This is OIA Football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
No matter what side of Oahu you stay, personalized, convenient, and efficient financial service is the Ko'olau Federal Credit Union way. Visit ko'olaufcu.org and join today using your mobile device.
Ko'olau FCU is federally insured by the NCUA.
For the few, the proud, the first to fight, Ko'olau Federal Credit Union has your six. Whether you're active duty, civilian, or a member of a Marine household, Ko'olau FCU has a branch on base. Visit ko'olaufcu.org to join today.
Ko'olau FCU is federally insured by the NCUA.
Who doesn't love a good pizza? Visit Slice of Waikiki, your favorite pizza by the slice shop. For over 13 years, they've been serving up huge, freshly made slices and delicious appetizers for locals and visitors alike. Drop by their new location at 333 Seaside Avenue to instantly satisfy your pizza cravings by the slice, or build your own whole pie masterpiece. Visit sliceofwaikiki.com for pickup, delivery, and catering options. Slice of Waikiki, freshly made pizza with aloha.
OIA Football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network is presented by Ko'olau Federal Credit Union.
Back here at Farrington, Kyle Galdera and Paul Brecht. Kalaheo going for it. Kala'oka'aia fakes the handoff, now throws it out to Carrero on the right side, the left side. It'll be a nice play, a nice pickup, but not enough, as a gain of 4 means a turnover on downs. Nice defense there, Paul, by Pearl City.
Looked like it was Makoa Reyes, the senior linebacker, who ended up making the final hit to stop him, because, like you said, a nice play by Kalaheo made the defense shift over to this near side of the field and then only to go to the far side. And, one guy tripped him up, but looked like he was going to stay in balance and potentially pick up a first down until you saw Reyes put him down to the turf, force a turnover on downs, and a big stand there by the Chargers.
So Pearl City takes over at its own 22, heading from right to left. 10:38 left before halftime, tied at 7. And the regular running back Gaspar back in there after getting a bit of a breather. He had all 70 yards of offense for Pearl City on their opening touchdown drive, and right back to work, picks up 7 there. You can see, and we can see, Paul, why he's averaging, coming into this game, 9.2 yards per carry.
Yeah, flirting with over 600 yards rushing, entering the night, already surpassed that total now for the season after just the first drive. He's outstanding.
Gaspar takes it again from Torres, gets 2 yards there, and actually it's going to be 3 yards, enough for the first down.
I was going to say a good job by the Kalaheo defense just tripping up Gaspar enough to make it 3rd down and short, though I don't know how much that would have changed things the way that Pearl City's been running the ball. Even their short gains are still gains 2-3 yards.
9:45 left to go in the second. Pearl City, a methodical offense so far, mostly running, but right on cue, Torres passes it out to the right side. Looked like Trevor Levy. He hauls it in for a gain of close to 7. And Paul, we talked about it, expecting a somewhat of a seesaw battle, maybe a little lower scoring than we expected. Credit to both defenses so far.
Yeah, it's going to be important that both defenses have pretty good performances all the way through this one, as a short gain for Pearl City looks to be just short of the line to gain.
Yeah, Gaspar seemed to be a yard short, but they're actually giving him credit for 3 yards, and they'll get another first down. Does Pearl City? I think Kalaheo's coach is a bit bewildered by that spot. However, it was the call, 1st and 10 Pearl City.
But it continues to show just how hard Gaspar is running, and maybe that gives him the benefit of the doubt just to get an extra half yard on the spot.
Gaspar again running right into the wall of defenders, and a nice tackle for loss again by Kalaheo. And again, Sean Uchiardi with a loss of 3 by the Mustang defense. And Gaspar, I think a bit tired, finally goes to the sideline for a breather.
Yeah, a little less success on consecutive carries this time after not getting stopped for a single loss on the first drive, picking up all 70 yards.
Pearl City 2nd and 13 here. Torres in the gun, throws right, and it's going to be tapped away. Javen Carrero playing both ways tonight. He's the top running back, one of the top receivers, and now a stellar DB for Kalaheo.
Yeah, it looks like he's playing some safety as well. He's just a dynamic athlete for Kalaheo. And I mentioned this before for the Mustangs, where coming up with tough catches and how important that's going to be tonight in a playoff game. Right there, an opportunity for Pearl City to come up with one, as Trevor Levy had it in his hands, but like you said, gets it poked away and brings up 3rd down and long instead of 3rd down and maybe a yard.
8:04 left before halftime. Torres, 3rd and 13, dancing around, running right, evades 3 defenders, now running left.
He's got a lot of space.
Plenty of space. He's going to throw down the middle, ill-advised, and picked off by Kalaheo. And I think we have a flag on the field. We'll sort it out, but Carrero with the pick as of right now.
And that was like one of those old moon balls that you'd play at the playground, toss-up, playing jackpot, right? You throw across your body, like you said, go across the middle, and I was implying that he perhaps should run when he had that much space and just try and get something out of nothing, and instead it ends up being essentially what is an arm punt.
And that's my bad. It's actually a leaf in the middle of the field that looks kind of like a flag, but no harm, no foul. Kalaheo does get the pick. They take over at their own 40-yard line. 7:46 left in the period. And Carrero gets a bit of a breather. So that'll be Avon Mahukona filling in, doing the running there, running to the right side. And he picks up 6. Or was that Martinez running it? It was Connor Martinez. So instead of Avon Mahukona 3, it was 33. Connor Martinez with the pickup there. 2nd and 3 here for the Mustangs at their own 47.
Zach Davis has been quiet so far for Kalaheo.
Kalaheo fakes the handoff, and the ball is dropped on the pass over the middle to Mormon. It would have been a first down, but instead, 3rd and 3 coming up. Just under 7 minutes left here in the second, still tied at 7. Pearl City the designated road team playing Kalaheo, designated home team here at Skipadia's Field at Farrington High School.
Reason I bring up Zach Davis being quiet so far in this first half, he had 8 receptions for 103 yards when these teams met back on October 11th.
Carrero runs it up the middle, and he's going to be stonewalled by the Pearl City defense. Another no-gain play, 4th and 3 now coming up for the Mustangs.
And you tell me, Kyle, that looked like a play where Kalaheo knew or thinks that they might have 2 plays to try and pick up a first down.
Yeah, good call there by you, Paul. And you would think that Kalaheo would then move quickly. And interesting here, and I'm not going to accuse them of anything, but we have an injury timeout. And it looked like Pearl City was well aware that Kalaheo was going to move quickly. And one of their players happened to go down just at the right time. So that player will be addressed.
A well-timed cramp.
And I only bring that up because at the college level, that's a rule change this year as the player gets up quickly, that if the ball is set and then a player goes down injured, the team of the injured player is immediately charged a timeout. And that's basically whether the player's hurt or acting, you can't take advantage and basically stall the way that Pearl City did there.
It's a good rule for college especially. That's where I'll leave that one there. Either way, a big 4th down now coming up for Kalaheo and Pearl City's defense for that matter, where if you get a stop here and this is an opportunity, if the ball's in the air, you bat it down, you get the ball back in opposing territory.
Carrero faking the handoff, and Kalaheo keeps it to an open receiver, but he short-armed him by a yard. That, had it been just a bit further, would have been an easy touchdown to Mormon.
That was another house call for Mormon, and now we get late whistles as a flag comes in.
And another case, Paul, where the flag is on the total opposite side of the field. I wonder what the call is going to be here.
Either way, a heartbreaker for Kalaheo and a missed opportunity, like you mentioned, would have been a walk-in 6 for the Mustangs. Instead, they turn it over on downs, or look like they'll turn it over on downs inside their own territory.
So the call on the field is an illegal man downfield for Kalaheo. So even if the ball would have been caught, it would have been brought back by that penalty. Penalty will be declined, and Pearl City will take over.
Great job by the Pearl City defense stepping to the plate. And Kyle, we have seen at times how dynamic this Kalaheo offense can be. They entered the playoffs averaging 32.5 points per game. It's the 4th highest mark in all of Division II in the state. That's including the neighbor islands. So they have been outstanding this year so far through, almost the entire first half, through 3/4 of the first half, a funny way to say that. They've only put up the 7 points.
So Pearl City has it at the Kalaheo 48. Should have been the 47, but it's at the 48 now. 6:16 left to go before halftime. And we'll see now what Pearl City can do after both teams coming up with great defensive stops. And this will be a direct snap. This is a new player, Mayaku Li'i, the sophomore receiver. A bit of a wildcat formation there for Pearl City, and Kalaheo saw it coming all the way. That'll be a loss of 1, 2nd and 11 coming up.
Yeah, absolutely no trickeration, or not tricking, I should say, the Kalaheo defense, as once again it was Sean Usiardi in on the stop. Tell you what,
some spoiled candy there.
I really like the way that he plays linebacker. He lays down the boom when he makes tackles.
2nd and 11 here. And again, the wild Charger formation, and it works this time. As running to the right side, Li'i takes it a long way, close to 8 yards. And that'll bring up 3rd and a long 3.
That time, Li'i got out into space, had a convoy of blockers out ahead, and then made a really nice move to just squeeze through 2 defenders. One of those little excuse me moves. And just like that, a 2nd and long becomes 3rd down and manageable, but looks like we still don't see Ikaika Torres out there.
And I wonder, Paul, if part of this is the decision that Torres made to throw that ill-advised pass on the last drive. Maybe this is the Pro City coaching staff saying, hey, let's put Li'i in there and give our quarterback some time to think about it, because that's not the type of play you can make in the playoffs. Li'i now hands it off to Gaspar, running to the left side for no gain. So another 4th down and short, 4th and 3 coming up at the 42 of Kalaheo for Pearl City.
And this feels like no man's land where you could go for it. It's 4th down and 5. You could also try and play the field position game with how your defense has been playing, but it looks like Pearl City will once again line up to go for it.
Li'i in the gun, trying to use the hard count. I'm wondering here if Kalaheo doesn't send a blitz, knowing that Pearl City's probably going to run it. Li'i gets it. He will run it up the middle, and he's going to dance ahead for the 1st down. And after the gain of 4, they move the chains, but I don't know, Paul, how do you, if you're Kalaheo, not bring somebody up closer to the line, knowing that you have essentially a runner getting the direct snap?
Yeah, a good call by Pearl City to get a bunch of receivers split out wide, so I suppose you have to, at the very least, act as though you are respecting that, but it's hard not to agree with you where it was clear it was going to be a wildcat run up the middle once again, and good job running by the 5'4" wide receiver for Pearl City, and Li'i pushing ahead, just a sophomore picking up a crucial 1st down.
3:30 left to go before halftime. Pearl City trying to break the 7-7 tie. Gaspar has it, running right, now dances left. There's that cutback again, and he picks up 2 yards. 2nd and 8 coming up. Kalaheo, the 2 seed. Pearl City, the 3 seed. This is one of the more evenly balanced playoff games on this weekend's slate, and so far living up to the billing as we're tied at 7.
It's kind of what we expected coming in as well, where the first game between these two, you saw it ends up in a 21-point victory for Kalaheo, but you look further into it, a couple of turnovers by Pearl City, a little less success, and you see why the game ended up being what it is.
And we're going to have a flag come in. So a run for no gain by Li'i, and I have a feeling this might be in the range of holding, because the line judge threw it, and one of the backup receivers was running ahead of him, and I think Aiden Minami got a little bit too excited on his block there. So we'll see if it is indeed holding, if Kalaheo elects to keep the spot or take him back 10 yards. And it is indeed a holding call on the edge. It will be accepted. And after that enforcement, it'll be 2nd and 17 coming up for Pearl City.
And that's a killer for the Chargers, where we've seen the success they're having in the rushing attack, and part of that is because they continue to put themselves in 2nd down and manageable, 3rd down and manageable, well, even 4th down and manageable as we get some fans going by. But, you know, now 2nd down and more than 15 yards to go, you have to start to think about throwing again.
And it will be a throw by Torres. He's finally back in the game. Tosses it out to Noah Sullivan. And Sullivan's going to get a big gainer, getting all that penalty yardage back, plus 4. So that'll bring up 3rd and a more manageable 5 yards as we dip below the 2-minute mark. This final 2 minutes of the second is brought to you by DSC Hawaii, providing quality work in the most efficient manner.
That was just a real nice play from Pearl City, understanding the situation that they were in, not trying to do too much, not trying to get it all back in one play, but going from 2nd down and long, and all of a sudden it's 3rd and manageable again, and you have 2 downs that you can use to pick up a new set.
Torres empty set, 4 receivers to the right side. He finds an open one, tosses it to the right side for a gain of 8, and that's another Pearl City 1st down. Nice job there, hitting number 20, Li'i, who was the quarterback. Now Torres rewarding his teammate with a 1st down catch.
And I go back to something that you said earlier on this drive, Kyle, where Pearl City, the coaches perhaps, 1, want to give a different look, of course, to the Kalaheo defense, and 2, just give an opportunity for Torres to perhaps take a breath. It's a big game for him to come on into and try and lead the Chargers to an upset against the team that's already beat you this season, and perhaps he was just trying to do a little too much. You take a breath, you reset, and now it looks much more under control.
Pro City now under a minute. Torres with the swing pass to the right side. Sullivan has it again. And that'll be a gain of 4. Clock continues to run under 45 seconds. Pearl City not in a hurry. They do have all 3 timeouts though. I wonder if they're trying to take it down to 30 seconds and then use some of those breaks. 35 seconds now. Torres in the gun. Empty set again. Looking right. Pump fake. Now throws over the middle. He has a receiver. And he has a touchdown. Took his time and connected with Bronson Abendanyo. And then it looks like we have a flag on the field in the middle. It looks like it might be holding, but we'll check it out. Oh, illegal man downfield for Pro City. So after the great play call, it's going to be negated by one of the linemen getting too far downfield instead of a touchdown. That ball's going to come back. 2nd and 11 coming up for Pro City.
And that's an absolute killer, because I was just about to compliment Pearl City's play calling as the Chargers call timeout. They set it up beautifully to go to the other side, and instead a penalty wipes off 6 from the board.
We'll take a 30-second timeout as well. This is OIA football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
The zoo needs you!
Keiki, Kupuna, moms and dads, come meet our beloved animals up close and personal. Enjoy the beautiful sights and sounds of Waikiki nestled below Diamond Head. Whether you're planning a birthday party, a unique and fun corporate party, or an education experience, come visit the Honolulu Zoo. Don't forget the food court, accessible parking, and the farm animals at the Keiki Zoo. Visit honoluluzoo.org today.
Are you young or feel young at heart? Looking for a fun way to stay fit? Love the outdoors? Want to fulfill your competitive nature while enjoying nature? Well, come Heli Mai and play one of Honolulu's 6 great and challenging golf courses, all for a reasonable price. Learning to play or honing your skills? Enjoy all that the Olivai, Eva Villages, Ted Makalena, Westlock, Huli, and Kahuku courses have to offer. Golfing at the Muni, that's our city courses.
Back to more of the OIA featured game of the week on HSRN 95.1 FM and AM 760. Brought to you by DSE Hawaii.
Pearl City, 24 seconds. Torres has it. Coming out of the timeout, swings it to the right side. But Kalaheo all over it as Pearl City pushed out of bounds 18 seconds before halftime, Paul. 3rd and 10 coming up. What do you think Pearl City does here? Going into the wind, mind you. So even though they have a solid kicker in June Christian Wilson, I don't know if they're going to try to risk a field goal here into this wind.
From this distance, it feels like you got 2 shots at something. You could either hope to pick up another first down, still another timeout or 2 in your back pocket to work with, but this feels like something that has to be downfield, not just a little wide receiver screen.
Pearl City quads to the right side. Torres running. He's being chased by 2 defenders. He's going to hit the edge and wisely gets out of bounds with 9 seconds left. So he gains 9. 4th and 1 coming up. But the main thing, Paul, he preserves his body, gets out of bounds safely, and preserves the clock with 9 seconds left.
It also brings up an interesting conversation, I suppose. With 9 seconds left, there's time for multiple plays. With a timeout left, you could also still just run this ball, try and pick up the first, and then call timeout. You're taking 1 shot at the end zone or perhaps going for the kick.
Torres again, empty set, quads right. His hard count gets the player to jump. However, Kalaheo uses its 3rd and final timeout. We'll keep it here. And we're laughing for our listeners because the hard count worked to perfection for Pro City. They would have gotten a first down to the 10 of Kalaheo. However, the Mustangs coaches called time just before the jump, so it still remains 4th and 1.
And I'll say it's a great timeout call by the Kalaheo coaches, but I will also say an incredibly lucky timing on the timeout call because, like you said, would have been a fresh set of downs, and then all of a sudden it goes from, oh, you've got 9 seconds, you might want to pick this up, or you might be able to pick this up, call timeout, to Oh, then you have 2 shots at the end zone, perhaps, if you'd like, if you're not trusting a field goal kicker going into the wind. Now, once again, you're back in 4th down and 1, and you have the question once again. Do you run the ball? Do you go to the air? What Pearl City wants to do here, especially this deep into Kalaheo territory, an opportunity to take the lead right before the half.
So coming out of the timeout, Kalaheo's out of timeouts. 9 seconds left before halftime. We're still tied at 7. Pearl City driving at the Kalaheo 15. Torres from the left hash. Quad receivers to the right, single receiver to the left. Torres sends a man in motion. Gets the snap, surveys the defense, now runs for it. It's a quarterback draw all the way. Torres gets out of bounds again after getting the first down with 3 seconds left in the half.
And now we will clearly see what Pearl City wants to do. Should they send the kicking unit on? Do they want to go 4-6? And it looks like we're going to get the kicking unit for the Chargers, and I like that call. Hopefully you get the points before halftime, especially knowing Kalaheo gets the ball to begin the 3rd quarter.
And Pearl City, excellent clock management. They got the first down, got out of bounds so they didn't have to rush anyway, and then used one of their remaining timeouts. So they can talk about strategy a bit, but with 3 seconds left, Paul, I think the wise decision, now that they're within the 10 at the 9-yard line, it's still a relatively manageable field goal, even into the wind. I figure you might as well kick it here, because even if you miss it, you don't risk a pick six or any sort of turnover, and it's basically house money at this point as Pearl City tries to take their first lead of this game, first lead here in the 2nd quarter.
I mean, this is more or less a point after attempt after some sort of penalty, right? If you were to get a false start or something along those lines, this would be a little bit further, but nonetheless, this is, like you said, a manageable kick.
Lee doing the holding, June Christian Wilson attempting the kick. It's up, and it is wide left. So as the clock strikes 0, it's still 7-7 as we head to halftime. Kalaheo and Pearl City, an instant classic treated to us here on Halloween as we head to halftime. You're listening to OIA Football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Experience one of
KGU AM K236CR Honolulu is the Hawaii Sports Radio Network on 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Kyle Galdera and Paul Brecht here with you. It's halftime at Farrington. Kalaheo and Pearl City tied at 7. Definitely a thriller so far as the Kalaheo cheerleaders perform the Michael Jackson hit. And during our intermission here, we're jumping into the Ko'olau Federal Credit Union halftime show. And that reminds me to ask you, Paul, and our beautiful people listening out there tonight, are you ready to cruise in your next ride? Ko'olau FCU offers auto loans with super competitive rates. They're as low as 4.49% APR and flexible terms up to 84 months. Whether it's a sleek new model or a reliable used vehicle, they've got you covered. Plus, you can enjoy quick pre-approvals and an extra 0.50% rate reduction on electric or hybrid vehicles. Slide into better savings and smoother terms today. Ko'olau FCU is federally insured by the NCUA. Paul, it's been, speaking of rides and used cars and new cars and electric vehicles, we haven't quite seen the supercharged offensive effort that we were looking for. However, I think we've been treated to a great game so far. Both defensives coming to play. Both teams scored on their opening drives. Since then, nada.
Yeah, realistically, it's been about as good of a football game as you could ask for to be played through the first half, through 24 minutes of play in a playoff game. You understand some of the jitters that some of the players were going through early on, some missed tackles, some poor throws, and just overall, it seems everybody eventually settled on in, and now you're seeing both teams make plays defensively to shut the teams down just before they find pay dirt, and it's a big reason why you see a 7-7 ball game here at halftime.
And when we come back, we'll continue our Ko'olau Federal Credit Union halftime show here in the OIA D2 playoffs. It's Kalaheo 7, Pearl City 7 at halftime. This is OIA football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
No matter what side of Oahu you stay, personalized, convenient, and efficient financial service is the Ko'olau Federal Credit Union way. Visit ko'olaufcu.org and join today using your mobile device.
Ko'olau FCU is federally insured by the NCUA.
For the few, the proud, the first to fight, Ko'olau Federal Credit Union has your six. Whether you're active duty, civilian, or a member of a Marine household, Ko'olau FCU has a branch on base. Visit ko'olaufcu.org to join today.
Ko'olau FCU is federally insured by the NCUA.
Who doesn't?
Welcome back to the Ko'olau Federal Credit Union halftime show here at Farrington High School. Pearl City and Kalaheo all knotted up at 7 as we're a handful of minutes away from the second half action. And before we get to some of the stats and key players that we can look back on and look forward to for the rest of this game, let's take a look at our scoring live scoreboard from around the state. Hopping over to Hawaii Island, KS Hawaii dominating Kohala 34-0 at halftime.
Shoo.
Honoka'a dominating Hawaii Prep. They defeated Hawaii Prep 35-0. Jumping back over here to Oahu, one of the Open Division semifinal games going on at Mililani. Actually in the books now, Kahuku 24, Campbell 6. So Campbell hanging around. They were down only 7-6 at halftime. And then the Red Raiders did their thing, ran away with it as the top seed. And they're now going to play the winner of Mililani Kapolei coming up in just a few minutes from Mililani as well.
That one should be a lot of fun, and just has been a fun night of football overall, not just here, but as you mentioned, all over the islands. And tell you what, Kyle, something about that Honoka'a team, we've gotten an opportunity to see them, and tell you what, they might make some noise should they get into the state tournament in Division 2. So a lot of fun over there on the Big Island, but a lot of fun here tonight as you see Pearl City actually putting up nearly 150 yards of offense in that first half. They outgained the 2 seed in Kalaheo, who the defense of the Mustangs came in allowing just 14 points per game, just over 14 points per game, I should say, entering the night. And, you know, halfway there through halfway of the game, just doing a nice job, but their offense, which is the 4th highest in terms of points per game in all of Division 2 in the state, way below average tonight for Kalaheo. 32.6 points per game entering the evening, just 7 at the midway point.
And looking at Kalaheo, their score came on a 49-yard touchdown strike from Kala'oka'aia to Loch Mormon. And for Pearl City, their opening drive was all 70 rushing yards and a touchdown by Alohi Gaspar. Since then, it's been a bunch of great defensive stops, and then Kalaheo forcing the missed field goal to end the half, and that's how we got to our 7-7 margin. And during the break, Paul, we were talking offline about how Kalaheo usually wins by scoring a lot of points. In all of their wins this year, they've scored at least 21, and in 5 of those wins, they've scored at least 35. Here tonight, they're stuck at 7. So are we expecting Kalaheo to need to score more to get to that margin and then get the victory, or do they keep playing strong defense and maybe pull it out by, let's say, a 17-10 type of margin or something in that more low-scoring region?
I mean, I'll say this. We have seen Kalaheo pull out a close game before, most recently in the last time that we called them, where they beat Kalani 21-14, and in that game they had to kind of grit and grind, obviously without Jeremiah Toilolo, and that's part of what you're seeing tonight is the offense figure out who they are without their number 2 wide receiver, but nonetheless still confident that they can take down Pearl City.
And speaking of taking down opponents, I got to give credit again to the Kalaheo cheerleaders. Not only were they dancing to Thriller earlier, but you know how they have those banners where the team runs out and hopefully breaks through and not falls down like the Little Giants? So this banner by the Kalaheo Mustangs cheerleaders, I'm going to paint the picture for you. Here on Halloween, it says rest and defeat, and then they have tombstones for all the teams they've beaten this year, which is 7 teams, and they actually have an 8th one, and it says PC round 2. So creative, but I don't know. I'm superstitious. So do you think maybe getting a little ahead of themselves, putting it on the banner already?
I am somebody who is also a bit superstitious. I don't like opening yourself up to being made fun of should that come back to bite you. If I'm Pearl City, I do look at that, and if you needed any extra motivation, 1, what are you doing? But 2, there it is for the Chargers in this second half. Kalaheo already counting their chickens before they've truly hatched.
When we come back, we'll have second half action for you. Will one of the teams have some tricks up their sleeves, or will it be a treat of a second half for us here? This is OIA Football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Here's the dream. Keep doing what you love. What drives you? What's your passion? Whether you're catching waves, climbing mountains, or playing with the grandkids, the choices you make now can help you keep living your life your way. At Hawaii Pacific Health, we're here to help you live healthier with preventive care and a personalized approach. Learn more at hawaiipacifichealth.org/healthierlife.
Sports on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760. Brought to you by Dial Electric Supply.
Kyle Galdera and Paul Brecht here with you at Farrington High School. Ku'ule Agbayani back in the studio. Michael Escaro on the sidelines, getting stats, photos, videos, all kind of good stuff for us here tonight. Pearl City and Kalaheo tied at 7. It's been the defenses, Paul, with the big D energy so far tonight.
I like that. You brought in the song that they were playing right before we returned to this second half. Everybody seems to be in a good mood. Everybody is ready for a competitive second half. Pearl City ready to kick off. Kalaheo ready to try and take their first lead of the night.
And that's something we haven't mentioned yet. Kalaheo deferred in the first half, meaning they'll receive the second half kickoff. So basically they force the missed field goal. You basically get 3 points back there. And now if they can score, you can really add to that fifth quarter, right? The margin of about 2 minutes and 30 seconds in the second to 2:30 into the third. Pearl City kicking it off. It's going to be an onside kick, and Pearl City has it. The ball went 10 yards, and I think the kicker got it. Pearl City ball.
And sometimes you have to take chances in playoff games, Kyle. We said it in the first half. We talked about it when the Chargers went for a fourth down deep in their own territory, and here they do it to start the second half. They erase what the opening kickoff was, and now they have an opportunity to retake the lead.
So I believe Wilson kicked it, and it was Keali'omana Keola, the safety, who picked it up. A perfectly spotted ball. It's actually going to be spotted exactly 10 yards from the kicking spot at the 50. That's exactly what you need to do. Pearl City picked it up. Chargers ball. It's going to be a run by Gaspar, poking and prodding his way up the middle for a gain of 5. And Paul, I see you writing feverishly next to me. You got to mark that one down. That is a turning point here in this game. We mentioned Kalaheo had the momentum, the missed field goal going into halftime. They were set to receive the kickoff, and then Pearl City with the trickeration here on Halloween.
It's funny because I did also write down the missed 26-yard field goal attempt as we get a pass incomplete. Nice defensive play by Kalaheo right there to force a third down.
That was Uciardi again, that time on the pass breakup.
But I did mark down that missed field goal because I thought, well, perhaps that will be the turning point if Kalaheo is able to get points to begin the second half. Now Pearl City erasing essentially what was an unfortunate end to the first half.
3rd and 5 here. Torres with the play-action pass now actually throws it backward, so that should go down as a running play as Christian Kiheva picks up 3. And as we've seen so far, both teams going for it a lot tonight, at least twice apiece on 4th down. And Pearl City, no hesitation. They're going to go for it with 4th and a long 2 coming up here at their own 42.5.
Trying to sit here and think, have we seen a punt here tonight?
I don't think so, only kickoffs.
Because the only thing that was really close was the Ikaika Torres throw down the field that more or less served as an arm punt on 4th down.
Torres gets the shotgun snap, hands it off, and it's going to be the secondary running back with the primary charge. Adriel Jonas Garrido was stopped for what was a gain of 1. He powered ahead for 4 more, and he gets to the 39 of Kalaheo for the first down.
Just an excellent job running angry by the running back for Pearl City. He was carrying a couple of Kalaheo Mustangs on his back. It looked like it was Drew Taylor along with Nolan Peavy for the Kalaheo defense trying to combine to bring him down. Instead, Garrido picks up a fresh set of downs for the Chargers.
Torres fakes the handoff, throws a looping pass to the right side. That's going to be collected by Li'i. And he's dragged out of bounds for no gain. So a nice job there. Again, the bend but don't break defense of Kalaheo holding tough at least for now. 2nd and 10 coming up, and another injured player here for Pearl City.
This was something that we talked about, though, during halftime. Kalaheo has won a lot of games, yes, because of their offense, but also their defense has been an unsung hero in many others.
And as Pearl City addresses its injured player, we'll remind you that OIA Sports on HSRN is brought to you in part by Hawaii Pacific Health. Hawaii Pacific Health takes the team approach to providing the expert care you need when and where you need it. Together, we are creating a healthier Hawaii.
According to our Michael Liscaro, who is down on the sideline, they're checking out the right arm of the player down on the field for Pearl City.
And he's going to head off the field. After that injury timeout, it'll bring up 2nd and 10. 10:38 left in the third quarter. We're still tied at 7. Kalaheo, the 2 seed, Pearl City, the 3 seed here in the OIA D2 playoffs. The winner advances to next week's championship game and awaits the winner of tomorrow's contest between Castle and Roosevelt.
That was Landon Peterson, the offensive lineman for Pearl City, who walked off under his own power. Once again, they were checking out his right arm / bicep area.
Pearl City here with 4 receivers, 2 to either side, operating from the right hash at the 39 of Kalaheo. Torres in the gun. Hands it off. Run up the middle is stuffed again by the Mustangs. And there's big number 55, Sean Ukiardi, doing a great job stuffing the run, playing the pass. He's one of the best defenders I think I've seen at the D2 level this year, for sure, Paul.
Oh, he's been everywhere tonight, and it seems like he is the linchpin for the defense, where even if he's not the one making the play, he's in the area. He's been the one getting the defense set up for the Mustangs, a key cog to what has been a pretty elite unit all season.
So after the loss of 1, Pearl City 3rd and 11 from the 40 of Kalaheo. Torres hands it off. This is going to go to Aiden Minami. And Minami picks up maybe 2, but a nice job again. Kalaheo stringing the running back out to the right side, using that sideline as an added defender, and making the stop. 4th and 9 coming up. I wonder now if we'll finally see our first punt, or if Pearl City goes for it with 4th and 9.
And you'd really hate to have to punt after an onside kick to start the second half. You'd love to turn this into points, but I also would totally understand if they're thinking about a little bit of a pooch punt, right, where you have the quarterback out there, you get a quick look, and you punt it down, try and play the field position game, especially with the way your defense has been playing this evening.
Pearl City, empty set, 3 to the left, 2 to the right. Torres looks to throw, dancing around, now throws it, and that, pardon me, one of the chain crew, he kind of, speaking of Michael Jackson, did the moonwalk into the bench there. As it was an incomplete pass, but there is a flag on the field. It looks like potential holding on the offense, which will be declined, and that means Kalaheo should take over here.
And Kalaheo's defense is coming off the field, so believe it is, and yeah, it is in fact a penalty against Pearl City, so doesn't matter. A turnover on downs. Kalaheo, after getting caught off guard, makes the stop to begin this third quarter.
9:39 left to go in the third. We're still tied at 7. And again, Paul, Kalaheo kind of dodging some missiles here. They had the missed field goal. They made it so that Pearl City didn't take advantage of that recovered onside kick. So I think for Kalaheo, it's imperative now. They need to get some type of points, because you can really only lean on that defense so much against a sturdy Pearl City offense.
You also just want to reward them for playing so well throughout the night so far. They've really had your back in some tough situations, even when Pearl City's been able to pick up more yards than your offense through the first half, as there we get a 2-yard rush by Carrero.
2nd and 8 coming up here. Kalaheo out to its own 40-yard line. Mustangs and Chargers tied at 7. 9:15 now left to go in the third. Lower scoring affair than we predicted. We mentioned earlier that Kalaheo scored at least 21 in all 7 of its wins so far, and they've scored 35 or more in 5 of those wins. Kalaheo with trips to the right side, looking deep, and he's going to be sacked. Pearl City bringing the pressure, and a couple of players in there, but it looks like the main cog was Ku Minor. And, Kalaheo is down. This could be disastrous for the Kalaheo offense. And as Kalaheo looks to shake out the cobwebs, this injury report powered by Hawaii Pacific Health, creating a healthier Hawaii. And Paul, could be disastrous for Kalaheo if Nai Kalaheo is sidelined for part or even the rest of this ball game.
just not at all what you want to see if you are the Mustangs right now, and a hush kind of falling over the crowd here at Farrington High School because of it, as Kalaheo O'Kaia still down on the ground. Like you mentioned before earlier in the broadcast, one of the better quarterbacks in all of Division II, has really shown off this year with more than 2,000 yards through the air, more than 25 touchdowns, and right now things not looking good for the Mustangs.
Yeah, obviously we don't have an official injury report, but it looks like the training staff is working on his right shoulder. They're reaching under the shoulder pad, and now Kalaheo O'Kaia kind of winds his arm windmill style, trying to get that arm loosened up. It seems like he's okay. Obviously, it's easy for me to say from 100 yards away up in the press box, but I would venture to say that if the senior quarterback can get any sort of zip on the ball, he's going to be back in this game, because the last thing you want to do is go out in your senior year without being able to finish this type of playoff game.
I wonder if he also, on top of the shoulder, maybe had the wind knocked out of him as well. Could make the pain just a little bit more difficult to deal with in an already brutal sport. Now a third down and close to 20 yards, and your backup quarterback, the man who scored the touchdown tonight for Kalaheo, comes on in.
So Locke Mormon is now the quarterback. He's also the receiver, the kicker, and I think the punter for Kalaheo. And Mormon takes off, the quarterback keeper. He's going to scamper 10, make it 11 yards for the first down. So Locke Mormon, instant offense for Kalaheo. And, pardon me, it was a gain of 11, not a first down, though. All that sack yardage is finally erased, but now 3rd and 9 coming up for Kalaheo.
I was looking for the other end of the sticks there, hiding a little bit behind the coaching staff over on the Pearl City sideline. And looks, Kyle, like we're finally going to get our first punt of the evening, at least for Kalaheo.
Yeah, 4th and 9 leads to a Mustangs potential punt here. And we'll see if the Mustangs can deliver on special teams. Snap is good. Punt is away with the wind. Kalaheo taking advantage of their field position, as this one is going to bounce all the way. And it's rolling to the 1. Awesome job by the Mustang special teams, flipping the field and making Pearl City operate from tough field position here in the third quarter. When we come back, we'll have more action for you. This is OIA Football on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network.
Big news from Pearl at Kalawao. Dinner is now on the menu. Their newly renovated restaurant is open late every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday until 8:30 p.m. Enjoy delicious new entrees, grilled ribeye, barbecue ribs, shrimp scampi, and more, alongside returning favorites made with locally sourced ingredients. Perfect for a night out after golf, pauhana, or family dinner. Pearl at Kalawao, now open for dinner 3 nights a week.
Dial Electric Supply is Hawaii's premier lighting distributor and supplier, serving commercial and retail customers alike. Located at 2240 Kalu'opolena Street, Dial Electric's expanded retail showroom features one of the largest selections of lighting fixtures, fans, and smart home lighting solutions. Schedule an appointment with one of their design experts to create a home lighting design that you will enjoy for many years to come. Visit dialelectricsupply.com or give them a call at 808-845-7811.
OIA Football on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network is presented by Ko'olau Federal Credit Union.
Ticking under 7 minutes to go in the third quarter. Pearl City and Kalaheo still tied at 7. Kyle Galdera and Paul Brecht here with you. Pearl City pinned at its own 1. Kaimana Coleman runs it out for 1 yard. Now Pearl City conservative again as they try to get a little bit of breathing room, pinned up against their own end zone. And this time it's Adriel Jonas Garrido picking up 2. And that'll bring up 3rd and 7 from the 5-yard line of Pearl City. So, Paul, we talked about it. Special teams coming in clutch here for Kalaheo. They finally punted, but they were able to flip the field from their own 39-ish all the way to the 1 of Pearl City.
Yeah, and it might end up being the difference in the game is playing a couple of possessions of field positioning.
3rd and 7 here as Pearl City again runs it up the middle, very conservative as they're trying to get room for their punter. And Kalaheo looking to force the 3 and out. The punt unit from Pearl City comes on. So a nice chess match going on. Again, a low-scoring affair. We thought it would be a little more fireworks here on a Halloween Friday night, but with 5:45 left in the third quarter, more of a chess match here.
Something to note for Pearl City as well. We mentioned Landon Peterson before, the sophomore offensive lineman going off, and he was seemingly getting his right arm checked back, or he checked back into the game on that drive for the Chargers. Good to see him there at right guard.
So Pearl City punting into the wind. A nice kick, but it is knocked down by the wind, and it's going to take a Kalaheo bounce. And this goes to the 32. So a very short punt. Kalaheo in good shape here in the third quarter. When we come back, more D2 playoff action. This is OIA Football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
No matter what side of Oahu you stay, personalized, convenient, and efficient financial service is the Ko'olau Federal Credit Union way. Visit ko'olaufcu.org and join today using your mobile device.
Ko'olau FCU is federally insured by the NCUA.
For the few, the proud, the first to fight, Ko'olau Federal Credit Union has your six. Whether you're active duty, civilian, or a member of a Marine household, Ko'olau FCU has a branch on base. Visit ko'olaufcu.org to join today.
Ko'olau FCU is federally insured by the NCUA.
DSE Hawaii, a proud supporter of OIA Sports on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, is a locally owned and operated union electrical contracting company. Established in 1988, DSE Hawaii provides services to general contractors, building owners, property management companies, architects, and engineers. Their commitment to the electrical industry is focused on quality, efficiency, and most importantly, customer service and satisfaction. DSE Hawaii, providing quality work in the most efficient manner.
You're listening to OIA Athletics on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760. Brought to you by Hawaii Pacific Health.
So Kalaheo forces the punt, but on its first play on offense, Mormon maybe trying to get a little too crafty as the new quarterback for Kalaheo picks up the first down, but fumbles the ball away. Pearl City picks it up and is back on offense at its own 15. The bad news for Kalaheo, Kalao Ka'aia, the starting quarterback, is still on the bench. His shoulder pads are off, and it looks like not only the training staff, but maybe some of his family is down, kind of getting the news from the trainers about what's going on with the senior quarterback.
You can see him still trying to work out that right shoulder. A lot of concern for the senior for Kalaheo. Not what you want right now to try to be figuring out and dealing with in the third quarter of the semifinals, or really at any point with such a talented player. Also, from our Michael Lascaro, we do have that it was Keali'i Omana Keola who forced the fumble for Pearl City, as we get a completion out to the near sideline, and looks to be enough for a first down. That's Maiaku Li'i picking up the first for Pearl City, but from our Michael Lascaro, as I mentioned before, you had Keola, the safety, forcing the fumble, and then it was number 54, Manuel Kechuela, who ended up securing the fumble for Pearl City. So now they get back that possession earlier off that Torres interception.
First and 10, Pearl City, 4:55 left in the third. And it's going to be a handoff, a lot of room to run. Chargers into Kalaheo territory. And does he have enough? No, the defender gets there, but it's a huge play for Pearl City. That one's going to go close to 70 yards as the Chargers scamper all the way to the 5 of Kalaheo. Aiden Minami, not the quickest guy, but he picked up a head of steam, and he almost beat that last defender to the goal line.
No, a great job by the offensive line opening up a hole for him to punch on through, and then just running hard. Obviously not enough to get into the end zone, but now Pearl City knocking on the door.
So Pearl City poised to take the lead in this one. They led 7-0, then Kalaheo tied it up at 7, and here we are. Gaspar trying to get his second score. He's in! Another touchdown for the top runner for Pearl City. And the Chargers electric with another score, 13-7, in favor of the number 3 seed.
Something else to note, though, by the way, No Ikaika Torres at quarterback on that drive for Pearl City. Seems like he's fine not getting checked out over on the bench. Either way, it ends up working out for Pearl City as, like you mentioned, Gaspar with his second touchdown of the evening, his 13th rushing touchdown of the season.
And before the extra point, a couple of whistles. We have to give credit to the O-line, including Tomasi Tonga, the senior, 6'3", 350 pounds, helping to clear space for Gaspar. And I was reminded of him because his family is basically stomping on the bleachers loud enough to kind of shake our broadcast position here.
I wanted to make sure that he got the important credit that he deserved.
Job well done. Extra point is up and good. Pearl City now leads 14-7. And Paul, not only was that a great offensive stand by Pearl City, but you must be worried if you're Kalaheo. You're already missing one of your top receivers in Jeremiah Toilolo with what we think is a shoulder injury. And now their senior quarterback, Nai Kalao Ka'aya, being consoled by family on the sideline. He has an ice pack on his right shoulder. He seems to be out, I would guess, for the rest of the game, the way that he's talking to coaches and the training staff. So it looks like it's going to be up to Locke Mormon to lead the Mustangs back in this game.
And by no means is this game over for the Mustangs without Kalao Ka'aya, but certainly things become a lot more difficult without the talented young quarterback out there.
That Sports Injury Report brought to you by Hawaii Pacific Health, creating a healthier Hawaii.
He keeps flexing his right shoulder as well. You can see him trying to work through it, but this might also end up being a situation where coaches and training staff have to protect a player from himself if it ends up being too bad.
So we'll see what Kalaheo does here. Pearl City kicking it off, and it's going to be a bit of a squib kick. Nice job by Kalaheo picking up the ball and landing on it at the 42. They already allowed Pearl City to capture an onside kick to start the third quarter. Pearl City didn't capitalize on that, but then when Kalaheo pinned Pearl City back in their side of the field near the 1, Pearl City with the 3 and out, Kalaheo couldn't take advantage of that because they fumbled the ball on the run by Mormon, and that set up the long touchdown drive just moments ago by Pearl City. 4:10 left to go in the third. Chargers up 14-7. Mormon hands it off. And it's going to be a gain of about 5. It looks to be Carrero up the middle. And I have a feeling, Paul, that we're going to get a heavy dose of Carrero running it and Mormon with a little bit of almost like a run-pass option, only he's the option.
I'm also curious, do you see more of Connor Martinez? We've also seen Carrero as a receiving threat, and with Mormon having to shift inside and already without Toilolo, maybe you see Carrero's talents moved once again.
And right on cue, Mormon with the RPO attack. He basically pulls the ball out of the belly of his running back, scampers around the left side, picks up 3, and that'll bring up 3rd and a long 2 into Pearl City territory.
I will say this, unlike what Pearl City has done at times with Li'i giving Wildcat looks, Mormon isn't directly looking to run every single time right away. There have been some handoff fakes. There have been a couple of times where it looked like he just made a quick look down the field, but then decided to take off.
And this is going to be a run up the middle, successfully performed by Kalaheo. That is going to be Connor Martinez plunging ahead for 8. And a first down for the Mustangs.
No screwing around, no funny business on this one for Kalaheo. Just going directly at the Pearl City defense with a rushing attack. And tell you what, Connor Martinez running hard as well, as now they're into Chargers territory.
Mormon, pump fake, trips to the right side, now running right, still looking. Now he tosses it to his running back. Oh, and Carrero is hit in the head, and the late flag comes in. And that's a great call by the deep official there. Hit on a defenseless receiver. That's a point of emphasis, a safety flag that'll be thrown 99 times out of 100. Basically, it's even more liberal than the college rule because not only is it the head and neck area, but it's any forcible contact to a defenseless player will get that flag, and that's what happened there against the Pearl City defense.
Last thing that Kalaheo can afford right now is another injury as well. You hope for the young man, you hope he's okay, but already down a couple of your top playmakers, losing Jaden Carrero certainly would be the worst.
And indeed, the penalty is confirmed, so the personal foul hit on the defenseless receiver nets Kalaheo 15 yards. But, Paul, you made a great point. If Jaden Carrero now is sidelined for any amount of time, Kalaheo's basically down 3 of their top 4 weapons as far as stats go, because their top receiver, Zach Davis, is like the last man standing. Kalaheo is injured. Already out for the game was Toilolo, and now Carrero will have some time on the bench as he hopefully is okay after that hit in the head.
He tried to go back in the huddle afterwards, and obviously the official there saying you have to come out for at least one play, and even so, I wouldn't mind seeing him out for a couple just to make sure. You never want to toy around with these brain injuries, and it looked like he took some contact to the head.
3:06 left in the third. Mormon dancing, evades 2 tacklers, and he's going to be brought down on a big hit by one of the linemen from Pearl City. Koo Minor again making his presence known on the right side of that D-line. And it'll be a loss of 1. 2nd and 11 coming up for Kalaheo. 14-7 Pearl City leading. It seemed like Kalaheo was in the driver's seat toward the end of the second quarter after that missed field goal, but since then it's been all Chargers here in the third frame.
What's the phrase? Luck favors the bold. Pearl City's been the more bold team here tonight.
Bold run up the middle by Connor Martinez. He picks up 2, and that'll bring up 3rd and 9 as we tick near the 2-minute mark here in the third frame. Kalaheo looking toward its sideline for its signals. No huddle offense, but not in a hurry at this point. Mormon in the gun, directing traffic, 2 receivers to either side. He does have his running back Martinez on his right hip. 3-step drop. Now he'll run right. Pro City's defense on the prowl. Short arm pass to the right side, and that'll bring up 4th and 9. Pearl City's defense is swarming against the depleted Kalaheo offense right now.
That pass was intended for Jaden Carrero, who's back out there on the field. Good to see him okay, and I will say, it seemed he was cleared as all 4 athletic trainers on site, both from Pearl City's side and here on Kalaheo's side, checked him out while he was down on the ground.
And it's tough to see the starting quarterback, Kalaheo basically looking through a puka in his team bench as these players are giving him room to watch the game. Now he's able to stand up and watch the action. Mormon with it now. 3rd and 9. He's going to take off up the middle. He has room, and he dives ahead. Does he have the first down? He does. He gets just enough to move the sticks. That was a gutsy run up the middle by Locke Mormon. Or are they calling it short?
I'm trying to figure it out. It looks like it's short.
They're going to flip it around and call him just short.
And they didn't even really give any type of measurement.
Yeah.
It looked real close. A great extra effort by Mormon to even make it a question. And unfortunately for Kalaheo, they turn it down over on downs, and now Pearl City, with 1:38 left here in the third quarter, takes over inside their own 20 with an opportunity to go up by 2 scores.
So just inches away, Kalaheo looked to have the first down, but instead it's a turnover on downs. 1:38 left in the third. Pearl City looking to create some space now between it and the Mustangs. A little bit of a false start, not called. Errant snap over the head of the quarterback, and now it's going to be a sack for Kalaheo. That actually worked out better for Kalaheo because instead of a 5-yard penalty, it's going to be a loss of 16 on the bad snap.
And a loss of down on top of that. So really just a disastrous first snap for Pearl City here. And once again, no Ikaika Torres back there at quarterback. It's Kaimana Coleman who instead taking the signal caller duties here as the third quarter winds down. Big opportunity for him here in the semifinals, an opportunity for Pearl City to pick up what would be their first victory over a high-level competition this season.
Pearl City taking all the time available to it. Now going conservative with the run, but breaking off to the left. A big run is Gaspar. He picks up all the lost yardage plus about 5. So after all that, it'll bring up 3rd and 6. Nice job there by Alohi Gaspar, helping Pearl City get in position to now go for another first down.
Pearl City has stayed true to themselves all night as well, Kyle. They've leaned on the ground attack. They've trusted their defense, and we get a flag coming in now.
So 44 seconds, we have a flag on the field. And I think it's going to be a sideline warning. Some of the Kalaheo bench a little too close to that restricted area. And the good news for Kalaheo, the first sideline warning carries no yardage. The second one will get a 5-yard penalty, and the third one or any other sideline warning with contact to an official will get 15 yards. So 3rd and 6 still for Pearl City after the sideline warning against Kalaheo's bench. Big play here for Coleman in the gun, trips to the right side. He's going to hand it off, and Gaspar has it. Another flag on the play, as we had a really nice pace to this game, and then it's kind of slowed to a halt here in the last minute of the third quarter. Pearl City celebrating as if it's on Kalaheo. We'll wait and see what happens here.
Did seem as though Kalaheo had a couple of defenders who were frustrated.
Personal foul face mask on Kalaheo. So again, a miscue by the Mustangs lets Pearl City plunge ahead for the first down via the penalty.
And Kalaheo, I gave him credit in the first half for being able to answer back to adversity. So far, after losing their quarterback, it seems like things have really fallen off a cliff for Kalaheo. And with the third quarter starting to wind down here, Kyle, time no longer the friend of the Mustangs.
Nearing the 20-second mark in the third quarter. I believe Pearl City has to run one more play. They do. But Pearl City, like I said, in no hurry. The clock is their friend with a quarter and change left to go, up by 7. Coleman again handing off to the main man in the backfield, and it's going to be enough for a first down. So Gaspar running to the left side, picks up the first near midfield.
And Alohi Gaspar has been phenomenal since the first touch of the night. He's put the Chargers on his back. He's got both touchdowns and making a good case for our VIP of the game should the Chargers hold on to this one.
Yeah, the only thing that Alohi did negatively there was run out of bounds. Otherwise, he could have ended the third quarter and started the fourth quarter with the first down. But we'll see what Pearl City does here. 1st and 10 at its own 47. 3 seconds left in the third. It's been all Chargers here in the third stanza. Coleman in the gun. Handing off to the other running back for Pearl City. Adriel Jonas Garrido picks up 3, and that'll end the third quarter right at the 50-yard line. Pearl City on the verge of the upset. They lead Kalaheo, the 2 seed, 14-7. You're listening to the OIA Football D2 Playoffs here on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Who doesn't love a good pizza? Visit Slice of Waikiki, your favorite pizza by the slice shop. For over 13 years, they've been serving up huge, freshly made slices and delicious appetizers for locals and visitors alike. Drop by their new location at 333 Seaside Avenue to instantly satisfy your pizza cravings by the slice or build your own whole pie masterpiece. Visit sliceofwaikiki.com for pickup, delivery, and catering options. Slice of Waikiki, freshly made pizza with aloha.
Here's Dr. Jamie Fukui with a health tip from Hawaii Pacific Health.
When it comes to breast cancer, early detection could save your life. That's why it's recommended all women get a mammogram every year, starting at age 40, or younger if there's a history of breast cancer in your family. Schedule your mammogram today at one of our medical centers or clinics. Women who get a mammogram in October will receive a special gift while supplies last.
Online scheduling is easy at hawaiipacifichealth.org/mammogram.
Dial Electric Supply is Hawaii's premier lighting distributor and supplier, serving commercial and retail customers alike. Located at 2240 Kalua Opalena Street, Dial Electric's expanded retail showroom features one of the largest selections of lighting fixtures, fans, and smart home lighting solutions. Schedule an appointment with one of their design experts to create a home lighting design that you will enjoy for many years to come. Visit dialelectricsupply.com or give them a call at 808-845-7811.
Home stretch here at Farrington. Pro City, the 3 seed in the D2 playoffs, leading Kalaheo 14-7. Kalaheo, the 2 seed. So potential upset on our hands if Pro City can close this one out. 12 minutes left. And an interesting development. Kalaheo, the injured quarterback for Kalaheo, trying to warm up on the sideline. So we could see him later in the game. But as it stands, Pro City 2nd and 7 from the 50-yard line. Now a 3-yard run to the left will bring up 3rd and 3. And if Pro City can get a little more cushion, if they can score here, whether it's a field goal, a touchdown, that'll go a long way in trying to upend the powerful offense of the Kalaheo Mustangs.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong as well, and this is making a point about Nai Kalau Oka'aia. The loser of this game is out. The season is pow for them. I have to imagine the senior QB trying his best to make an effort to not let his season, his career on the gridiron go out like this.
Put a pin in that. 3rd and 3 coming up, a big play for Pro City. They are in 4-down territory, knowing their strategy so far this game. Coleman hands it off. It's going to be a run up the middle, and another big first down for Pro City. That's a gain of 11, close to 12. Pro City moves the chains. Going back to your point, Paul, in the D1 and D2 playoffs, there are no, like in the open division, third-place games where that third-place team gets in the States. It's basically the winner of this game and the winner of the Roosevelt Castle game go to the championship, and both of those two teams will get the state tournament berth. So, to your point, Kalaheo doing everything he can to get back in this game to help his team.
And you have to respect that, even if it might not be maybe the smartest thing for him to do to try and push it. It is the honorable thing for him to try.
And Coleman throws to the right side. It's called incomplete.
Just bounced it, and it looked close to the line of throwing forward backwards, but believe just incomplete.
And again, we're captivated here by Kalaheo Oka'aia. This is one of those, where you play the tape back 10 years later and you have the dramatic music behind it, the injured player coming off the mat, coming back off the bench, and we'll see if he does get another shot to lead the Kalaheo offense. But as it stands, Pro City, with 10:28 left in the game, leads it 14-7 and is, with 2nd and 10, still in great position at the Kalaheo 36.
Believe this is what the youth refer to having that dog in him, trying to tough it out and gut it out for his teammates.
Coleman, 3-step drop, now going deep to the left. He has a receiver, but just a bit strong on the toss there. It falls incomplete, and that'll bring up 3rd and 10.
Was looking for Kays Teixeira, the leading receiver on the year for Pearl City, who has 395 yards and 5 tutties. Instead, goes for an incomplete pass and was looking for it all. Would have been a touchdown had he been able to bring it in.
And I believe both of the top receivers from each team have yet to catch a pass. Teixeira for Pro City and Zach Davis for Kalaheo.
Zach Davis, at the very least, hasn't caught a pass in this second half. He had a return early on in the game, I do remember.
Trips to the right side, make it quads to the right side here. Empty set for Pro City. It's going to be a designed run for Coleman. The quarterback draw, he's going to hit the edge, but Kalaheo sprints over and makes the tackle. It'll be a gain of 5, and that'll bring up 4th and 5. Paul, this is a big decision here. Knowing that Pro City does have a strong kicker, do you go for the 40-plus yard field goal, or do you go for it on 4th and 6?
I mean, I think you go for it here. You hope to pick up the first down the way you've been running the ball tonight, and really the hope is you continue to drain more clock off the board.
Under 10 minutes, Pro City. Coleman getting the signal. Again, empty set quad receivers to the right side, single wide far side.
Could also see them perhaps take a penalty, take a timeout here, and end up punting it away, try and play the field position game.
Coleman gets the snap. He's looking right, throwing deep right. He has a receiver, and it's caught. That was a great design in space. Pearl City hauls it in for the big gain, and they are in the red zone, already up by a score, looking to make it more.
And it's Bronson, the man who had the touchdown taken away from him to end the first half. Abendano finds a spot in the defense, a weak spot in the zone, brings in a big-time fourth down conversion, and now Pearl City on the doorstep looking to take a two-possession lead here late.
Chargers on the charge here. 9 minutes left to go. Like you said, Paul, using the clock as their friend and also using the running game as Aiden Minami, who had a huge run earlier in the third quarter, gets to the right side for a gain of 2. And that actually works to Pro City's favor because even though they're not scoring at the moment, even if you get 2, 3, 4 yards at every crack, you're going to whittle away at that clock and also still be, in the red zone at the 11-yard line. If you can then score after taking a few minutes off the clock, you're in really good shape.
Kalaheo Oka'aya still working on throwing on the sideline, trying to get re-warmed up.
Alohi on the run up the middle as Gaspar picks up 7, and that'll bring up 3rd and 1. So Alohi, Gaspar, and the backup running back Aiden Minami, as well as Adriel Jonas Garrido, the three-headed rushing monster for Pro City tonight, doing their thing. 3rd and 1 coming up here. Pro City moving quickly. Alohi has it. He's up the middle for another score. Chargers go ahead by 2 touchdowns. And we have a post-play flag. However, the score should count.
Pending the flag, it's a hat trick of touchdowns for Alohi Gaspar. The running back, the star running back, just a junior, putting on a show here in the playoffs.
So it looks like an unsportsmanlike foul on Pearl City for taunting after the play. So the good news for the Chargers is the score will count and Kalaheo will take the penalty on the ensuing kickoff. So that's the bad news, is that Pearl City makes it a little bit easier, even though Kalaheo's down by 2 scores, to get back in this ball game.
Just a really, really big score for the Chargers to give them some breathing room, especially with how good their defense has been tonight. That could be the dagger with 7:48 left, an opportunity for their defense to shut the door coming on up.
Extra point is good. Chargers lead Kalaheo 21-7. 7:48 left to go in the ball game. This is OIA D2 playoff football action right here on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
No matter what side of Oahu you stay, personalized, convenient, and efficient financial service is the Ko'olau Federal Credit Union way. Visit ko'olaufcu.org and join today using your mobile device.
Ko'olau FCU is federally insured by the NCUA.
For the few, the proud, the first to fight, Ko'olau Federal Credit Union has your 6. Whether you're active duty, civilian, or a member of a Marine household, Ko'olau FCU has a branch on base. Visit ko'olaufcu.org to join today.
Ko'olau FCU is federally insured by the NCUA.
DSE Hawaii, a proud supporter of OIA Sports on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, is a locally owned and operated union electrical contracting company. Established in 1988, DSE Hawaii provides services to general contractors, building owners, property management companies, architects, and engineers. Their commitment to the electrical industry is focused on quality, efficiency, and most importantly, customer service and satisfaction. DSE Hawaii, providing quality work in the most efficient manner.
KGU AM K236CR Honolulu is the Hawaii Sports Radio Network on 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Following the Pearl City touchdown, Kalaheo taking advantage of the unsportsmanlike foul on the Chargers and returns the ensuing kickoff all the way into Pearl City territory at the 47. So a lot of action both sides here tonight, Paul. Pearl City with the momentum, but we'll see. First of all, can Kalaheo get back in it? Second of all, will they do it behind the arm and the legs of senior quarterback Nai Kalaheo. Not yet, but we might see him later.
Oh, no, he's going to go out there now. Kalaheo.
He's back
out there for Kalaheo. What a gutsy performance tonight from him.
He is indeed in the game after the shoulder injury. He's going to hand it off. And Pearl City, I think, saw that coming all the way. It's going to be a loss of 2. And now a little bit of extracurricular pushing and shoving. The referee's on it quickly, but we'll keep an eye on the discipline of both teams, especially Pearl City, after they already had that unsportsmanlike foul after their touchdown.
Yeah, it's Keola and also Travis Corpuz for the Pearl City defense, kind of jawing back and forth with Ivan Mahukona.
Kalaheo throws it for the first time after the shoulder injury, and it's a little too wide of his receiver. That'll bring up 3rd and 12.
And that was intended for Zach Davis, who you mentioned this before, Kyle. Not very active tonight, just 1 reception way back in the first quarter for 3 yards. And right there, the first time he's been targeted since that first quarter as well. And still, you see Kalaheo just not totally comfortable with that right throwing shoulder, trying to work it out here with 6:56 left to go.
And we had a stoppage. I'm not sure what it was for, but maybe a clock issue. As I think the referees are adjusting something. And we have a stoppage for a game clock correction, and that reminds us to give a shout out to our friends at Scoring Live. You can visit scoringlive.com for live scores, including this game, stats, photos, league schedules, and more. That's scoringlive.com. So the clock is reset to 7:06. Kalaheo basically gets 10 seconds back. We'll see if they can take advantage. 3rd and 12 here at the 49 of Pearl City. Kalaheo, the gutsy return. Dancing around, and he's going to be sacked again. Taken to the turf. It's a loss of 8. And not the result the senior quarterback wanted there, coming back from injury.
Last thing Kalaheo wanted after seeing their senior QB try and gut it out, get hit by a couple of Pearl City defensive linemen. A great job by the Chargers dialing it up and getting home on 3rd down. Brings up 4th and long, and no really choice for Kalaheo right here, down 2 scores with 6.5 minutes left in regulation.
So Kalaheo with trips to the near side, single wide far side. Clock continues to run. 6:20 left in the ball game, and Kalaheo now, after wasting 30 seconds, will finally call a timeout. We'll take a timeout as well and be back for the conclusion of this one. Pearl City 21, Kalaheo 7. This is the OIA Football D2 Playoffs on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Since 1976, locals have loved this place. And now the newly renovated Pearl at Kalawao is ready for your next round. Play their championship 18-hole course or sharpen your short game on the brand new Namomi Ekolu 3-hole pitch and putt. Open daily for residents, visitors, juniors, and groups. No membership required. With Kama'aina rates, rental clubs, and a full driving range, Pearl at Kalawao is golf reimagined. Pearl at Kalawao, where Hawaii comes to play.
Who doesn't love a good pizza? Visit Slice of Waikiki, your favorite pizza by the slice shop. For over 13 years, they've been serving up huge, freshly made slices and delicious appetizers for locals and visitors alike. Drop by their new location at 333 Seaside Avenue to instantly satisfy your pizza cravings by the slice or build your own whole pie masterpiece. Visit sliceofwaikiki.com for pickup, delivery, and catering options. Slice of Waikiki, freshly made pizza with aloha.
OIA Athletics on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
So Kalaheo, after taking a timeout to talk about it, they go the conservative route and punt it away. The good news is they pin Pearl City back at the 16 of the Chargers. The bad news, Paul, is there's only 6:07 left in the game, and Kalaheo burned a timeout. So basically 2 timeouts left, and Kalaheo needs 2 scores. So there's going to be some magic that needs to happen here for Kalaheo. Maybe some trickeration here on Halloween.
Yeah, I mean, put quite simply, Kalaheo will now need some sort of turnover, some sort of special teams play, something other than the offense scoring them 14 points with 6:07 left to play. You need the rest of your team to pick up what has been a slow night for your offense.
Chargers with a 14-point lead, looking to do some work on the clock here as, again, I believe Gaspar up the middle. He's a north-south runner for the Chargers, making an impact there with the gain of 8, getting all the way out to the 25.
And I like this, too. They've had Garrido and Gasper out there at the same time for a couple of snaps here tonight. And I tell you what, you've seen how effective Gasper has been, and Garrido for that effect. It makes the defense's job that much more difficult when you have to just apply extra attention to each of them.
So we'll see with Pearl City taking the clock all the way down to the 5-second mark, the play clock that is. And now Pearl City scampers ahead for another first down, a gain of about 6. That'll move the chains. And again, with 5:17, Paul, left in the game, if Pearl City essentially uses up the majority of its play clock, as we're going to have a stoppage here for an injured player, they can basically take up to 40 seconds after the play ends each time, barring a timeout or a play out of bounds. So we are at a stoppage right now for an injured player, but when you do the math, that means that Pro City can run about 8 to 10 more plays, and if they get the right number of first downs, they can put this win away and move on to the championship.
Well, and that's part of the reason why you heard us sound, I won't say confused, but a little bit questioning the call to punt on 4th and 20. And I do understand basically an impossible situation there, and you don't want to give away the ball in your own territory, of course. But the way that Pearl City has been running the football tonight, you knew that this was a possibility where they're just going to drain the rest of the clock. They've been able to pick up 5-6 yards on every single carry. And right now, Kalaheo's defense needs to figure it out with just 5:17 left to play. They need a stop and fast.
And I was going to add to what I said before and what you said, Paul, about Kalaheo deciding to punt. That's a great strategy, but you're basically saying to your defense, we need you not only to stop Pro City, but to force a turnover. Because, like you said, the way Pro City is running the ball, you're essentially just handing them the ball back instead of, like if you were to go for it, even on 4th and 20, at least you give your offense a chance at that point.
Yeah, and trust, I do understand it is an impossible situation to be in. 4th and 20, I think every coach in the world would roll their eyes and say, what do you really want me to do?
But at least you have a chance as opposed to punting it away where you, like I said, you're going to need to strip the ball or hope that Pro City somehow fumbles it away up by 14.
And that's the other side of it as we get a flag that comes in here.
And Pro City not keeping track of the back judge who keeps track of the play clock. Because of that, they get a delay of game. Not only do they move back 5 yards, but now the clock stops. So a little bit of a break there for Kalaheo.
And those are the few mistakes now that Pearl City can't actually handle, right? The last thing you want to do is give away free timeouts. You want to give away free yardage when you more or less have the game in the bag if you just do what you've done all night up until this point.
4:48 left in the ball game. Pearl City up 21-7 over Kalaheo. Another run for Pearl City. Gaspar hitting the right side. He has room. It's not Gaspar. It's Minami. Minami on his horse again. He could. To the 5, to the 3, and down at the 1. Minami inches away from pay dirt. He might be leading the team in rushing, but he's just coming up a few yards short of a touchdown run each time. But that might be the death blow as far as Kalaheo's playoff chances are concerned. What a run there to the right side by Minami.
A huge run by Minami, like you mentioned, might put him up over ahead of Gaspar in terms of overall yards rushing tonight, though Gaspar with 3 touchdowns to kind of hawk away some of the attention.
And it looks like Adriel Jonas Garrido will be in the backfield, so as of now, no chance for the vulture touchdown. Pearl City will call timeout. We'll keep it here. 4 minutes left. And I want to go back to something we said at halftime, Paul. Remember that banner that the cheerleaders were holding up? Basically alluding to the tombstone with Pearl City on it saying PC round 2. I think they might have gotten a little ahead of themselves there. We're both superstitious, and we know we would never broach the subject that way, and maybe Pearl City saw that. Who knows?
We talked a little bit about it, and it certainly seemed like it might be a little bit premature, might come back to bite them, and now with Pearl City up to a season-best 341 rushing yards as a team, just an incredible night. The last run by Minami, 67 yards. 6-7.
I see what you did there, Paul.
Thank you. Either way, just a great performance tonight in this second half from Pearl City, a team who I mentioned before, Kyle, has struggled a bit when they've played this upper-level competition. Coming into tonight, 0-4 against what I'll call that upper-level competition. 0-2 in their non-con against Kaiser and Moanalua, who didn't make the OIA Division I playoffs, and then they were 0-2 against the top 2 seeds here in the Division II OIA playoffs against Roosevelt and Kalaheo. Looks like they might get some vengeance here tonight against the Mustangs.
Adriel Jonas Garrido as the running back at the 1-yard line. First and goal for Pearl City. Chargers looking to put it away. It's going to be a keeper, though. Coleman is going to be taken down for a loss of almost 6. They're going to call it, yes, a loss of 6. So interesting play call. The only good news for Pearl City is it keeps the clock moving. And if they can continue to run, maybe they might be willing to sacrifice a score in exchange for taking this clock down even further as we hit the 3:30 mark here in the fourth quarter.
That was Dagan Miller making the tackle, by the way, for Kalaheo. A nice stop by him, but like you're kind of alluding to, Kyle, it might be a little too late for the Mustangs' defense as now the clock continues to wind.
So Coleman sends a man in motion. He's going to hand it off again to Garrido. Moving up the middle. And it'll be a pickup of 3 yards. That'll bring up 3rd and goal from the 5 as the clock ticks under 3 minutes. Now the perfect storm of clock management for Pearl City would be if they somehow get a roughing the quarterback penalty and get the audit. That's the only way you can get an automatic first down is a roughing penalty. Roughing the passer, roughing the kicker. Then you could essentially take knees and really put this game out of reach.
Free first down would end the game. Kalaheo with an opportunity here to potentially stop Pearl City and I guess keep it at 3 scores.
Alohi Gaspar back in the game. He's going to actually have the handoff fake to him, and it's going to be a pass to the right side, incomplete though. So that'll bring up 4th and goal. Now the question is, does Pearl City kick the chip shot, or do they go for the hammer here with a 4th down play? It does look like they will bring in the kicking unit.
And can I tell you, I'd probably do the opposite. I'd go for the kill shot with a touchdown, and realistically, if he doesn't end up getting it, then you turn the ball over, and it's way deep in Kalaheo's own territory. Your defense has played phenomenal tonight. You get an opportunity to kind of shut things down and close the door on the offensive opportunities that they really have deep in their own territory.
June Christian Wilson on to attempt the relatively short 22-yard field goal. It's up, and it is good. Pearl City makes it a 3-score game with 2:24 left in the ball game. So Pearl City on the precipice of the upset, the 3 seed, with a 17-point lead over the 2 seed Kalaheo Mustangs in what was a ultra-competitive game up until halftime. I think, Paul, getting that onside kick by Pearl City really startled Kalaheo a bit, and then their starting quarterback, Nai Kalaoka'aya, got injured. That kind of set the Mustangs back a bit more, and Pearl City being ultra-aggressive going forward on almost every 4th down tonight. You can tell they've kind of had the, I don't want to say the edge as far as talent, but at least as far as effort and competitive fire, Pearl City definitely charged up tonight.
Yeah, I mean, one team very much so looked like a unit trying to take everything out to win a playoff game. The other one tried to stay comfortable, and in the end, the team that took chances ends up being the one in main control here with 2.5 left to play.
Pooch kick by Pearl City, fielded by the Mustangs. And Kalaheo takes it out to the 46. A bit of a late hit there, and we do get a flag. So the referee saw that too. And I think that will go against Pearl City, which has scored 17 unanswered points. The regular season meeting between these two is also tied at 7 at the half and 14 all through 3 quarters before Kalaheo ended it on a 21-0 run. So basically Pearl City flipping the script here on a 17-0 run to create this 24-7 margin. And it will indeed be a 15-yard penalty after the play on the personal foul by Pearl City. So Kalaheo in a little bit better field position. However, with under 2:20 left in the ball game, they're going to have to score quickly, get some onside kicks, and score again, and try to make it happen magically.
Realistically speaking, right now what you need is a score on one of these next 2 plays and then to get the onside kick and then a miracle after that.
So the referees apparently pointed the wrong way, as it was a personal foul on Kalaheo. So take back what I just said. Now they're in even worse field position at their own 31 instead of at around the Pearl City 40.
Yeah, and just too many mistakes tonight for Kalaheo to think that they were going to win a playoff game. It started early on, and then after Kalaheo got hurt, we saw the Mormon fumble as well. Just too many little things end up stacking up in the end, and it's ultimately going to lead to Kalaheo falling in the OIA Division II semifinals for the 2nd straight year.
And Pearl City will call timeout, trying to get their defense in order. Again, shout out to scoringlive.com. We had reports that the 2nd semifinal in the Open Division was underway, and indeed, Kapolei so far with the early surprise, perhaps, as the 3-seed Hurricanes are leading the 2-seed and home team, Mililani Trojans, 14-0 late in the 2nd quarter. So we'll see if Kapolei brewing an upset out there in Central Oahu.
Good night for 3 seeds so far is what you're telling me.
Very astute there as Pearl City, the 3-seed, leading Kalaheo, the 2-seed, right here at Farrington High School.
Something else I mentioned before, struggles against their higher level opponents, their stronger programs they faced this year for Pearl City. In those games, the defense was giving up 37 points per game across 4 contests. Obviously here tonight, just a trillion times better, just giving up that 1 touchdown to begin the game, and outside of that, a busted coverage down the seam to lock Mormon. They have been outstanding from start to finish.
So Kalaheo again in the game, struggling to throw the ball, though, as that one falls short. 2nd and 10 now with 2:15 left to go in the ball game.
And like you mentioned, still struggling to throw the ball, and Kalaheo now on the sidelines, and my guess would be that will probably end his night and high school football career.
Yeah, and he's being a combination of consoled and congratulated by his teammates. Consoled because obviously this looks like it's going to be a tough end to the season, but congratulated for such a great statistical season for Kalaheo, as now Mormon will keep it and run. He picks up 2 yards, but Paul, the 2-dimensional aspect of this Kalaheo offense is basically diminished, down by 17, as Pearl City knows Kalaheo is going to have to go deep eventually.
Yeah, it's just a brutal situation that has unfolded in the second half for Kalaheo, and unfortunately for the Mustangs will end up ultimately ending what has been an incredible regular season under Coach Jameson Lee.
And Mormon running from the defense now, throws it away. It's going to be picked off, and that will ice it for the Chargers. As Keali'io Manakeola, as we have some pushing and shoving. Referees are going to have to take care of this, as Kalaheo obviously upset with the result, but that's not the way you handle this situation, as flags are on the field. Good job by both coaching staffs and the security force here at Farrington getting out there before anything crazy happens, but it was Avon Mahukona who delivered a personal foul. He's obviously upset his coaches are talking to him, but it just goes to show you all the emotion invested in this type of ball game by both teams.
I'll be honest, I understand the emotion, but that's unacceptable after the play has been over. And unfortunately, you did see it kind of starting to brew in this second half. As we mentioned it before, Mahukona starting to kind of chat back and forth with a couple of Pearl City defenders, and eventually it seems that frustrations boil over.
So it seems like the Pearl City coaching staff obviously is upset that that hit happened, and now we'll see how the referees enforce it. So after the play, personal foul on Kalaheo, and Mahukona will be ejected because he delivered some kind of intentional blow, whether it was a punch, basically a non-football act, and that will lead to the ejection. Obviously, it doesn't really matter at this point because Mahukona is a senior, so it doesn't carry over to next year because his football career is POW. But basically, because of that, it gives Pro City the ball even further in Kalaheo territory. And hopefully, for Pro City's sake, they just take a few knees with 1:32 left in the game and gets out of here without any further incidents or accidents.
Yeah, it's the last thing you want to see in what has been a very competitive back-and-forth game between two strong programs. You don't want any cheap shots, dirty hits, anything after. And just an unfortunate moment where his emotions got the best of him. And like you mentioned, as a senior, you can understand as well that at the end of the day, your high school career coming to a close can be a lot at one moment.
So the referees are marching off the penalty. It'll be Pearl City ball at the 20 of Kalaheo. Again, up 24-7, 1:32 left in the game. No need to run any sort of offense. Pearl City will line up in the victory formation. And by getting the win here tonight, they advance to the championship game against the winner of Roosevelt Castle, which happens tomorrow. And now Kalaheo will apparently call a timeout just to make sure. I think this is a great job by the Kalaheo coaching staff. I think they're going to tell their players, hey, we know you're upset, but don't do anything that'll jeopardize your integrity, and basically take the loss in the sportsmanlike manner. I think that's what the coaches are trying to impart here to their players.
And I would imagine that the same thing, right? Because I was getting at it before. It has been a magical year for the Mustangs of Kalaheo, a program who has greatly struggled on the gridiron until Jameson Lee took over, and they've been building something great. Last year they returned to the postseason for the first time in, what felt like forever, and this year they make it back after going 7-1 overall throughout their year. Their lone loss to the top team, the multi-time defending champion in Division II in the state, and unfortunately for them, it seems as though the season ends here tonight at Farrington High School as timeouts starting to break.
So the point I was getting to before the timeout by Kalaheo is that with the Pro City win, not only do they move on to the championship game, but they also lock up one of the two OIA berths into the D2 state tournament. So kind of a double victory here for the Pro City Chargers tonight. It's not in the books yet, but up by 17, and the victory formation coming up. It's a mere formality here for Pro City. Stay tuned for our post-game shows. We'll hand out our Fun Factory VIP of the game. I think it's pretty clear who it'll be, but you got to stick around and find out. Pro City taking the knee. The clock should be running. And now it runs. As Pro City will let this run down. They might have to take two more knees, depending on the play clock. But
well, they got good news. They've got the ability to do so with the downs left available to them.
Again, a great job by Pro City. We were tied at 7 at halftime. It was all Chargers getting the onside kick and really forcing the issue as another knee taken. Pro City, one more knee to go to lock up this semifinal victory here tonight. And it was the running attack that really helped fire up the Chargers, Paul. I believe over 300 yards for the Chargers on the ground, and that it really kind of gave a array. If you go to the boxing analogy, he had some jabs, some body blows, and then the big run uppercuts delivered by Pearl City made it an insurmountable lead that Kalaheo couldn't overcome.
I think that's a good way to put it. As you mentioned, 337 yards on the ground as Pearl City takes their final knee. Over 400 yards of total offense and just second half domination by the Chargers.
And as this game officially comes to a close, I think a smart move. Both teams aren't going to shake hands just to avoid any kind of shenanigans. The coaching staffs will shake hands. So that'll put a exclamation point on this one. Pearl City advances to the championship game 24-7, defeating Kalaheo. And a great job by both teams all season. But Pearl City marches on here in the OIA D2 playoffs. We'll be back with the post-game show and award our Fun Factory VIP of the game. Stay tuned. This is OIA Football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
No matter what side of Oahu you stay, personalized, convenient, and efficient financial service is the Ko'olau Federal Credit Union way. Visit ko'olaufcu.org and join today using your mobile device.
Ko'olau FCU is federally insured by the NCUA.
For the few, the proud, the first to fight, Ko'olau Federal Credit Union has your six. Whether you're active duty, civilian, or a member of a Marine household, Ko'olau FCU has a branch on base. Visit ko'olaufcu.org to join today.
Ko'olau FCU is federally insured by the NCUA.
Football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network is presented by Ko'olau Federal Credit Union.
Pearl City, a little bit of tricks, a lot of treats here on this Halloween Aloha Friday night. Pulling off the 24-7 upset over Kalaheo here in the OIA D2 playoffs. Kyle Galdera and Paul Brecht here with our post-game show. And Paul, I think in our pregame show we were talking about, Kalaheo was the favorite, and it would be up to Pearl City to, like we said, play good defense, excel on special teams, and then use your offense to score at the right moments. They did all of that and more tonight. Pearl City pulling off the upset here to move on to the championship game.
Yeah, we talked about playing complementary football all throughout the night, and Pearl City did exactly that. Their defense phenomenal. They hold a dynamic Kalaheo offense to their second lowest output of the entire season. And then offensively in the second half, they make the plays when they need to. They were excellent on third down and fourth down. They took the chances they needed to, and their defense forced multiple turnovers in this game. An incredibly impressive performance at a neutral site by the lower-seeded Chargers, and now Pearl City punches their tickets into the States, and now an opportunity to go potentially win an OIA Division II title.
And Pearl City with 300-plus rushing yards got it done. It's obviously tough to watch Kalaheo. They were one win away in the regular season from being undefeated, and now essentially one win away from getting to States. Their season is pow, thanks to the Pearl City win tonight. So obviously the range of emotions, right? You got Pearl City getting on the bus, ecstatic, elated, getting ready for the championship, and now Kalaheo right in front of us here on Skipadia's field, basically giving their final congratulations in Kalaheo uniforms for especially the seniors.
Yeah, and this is the part of high school sports that suck, and everybody does experience the point at which your sport comes to a close, whether it's as an upperclassman, as an underclassman. It's the last time that this group of young men, this group of people will be together as one team, so you appreciate them taking some time to kind of say thank you to each other and all the time that they put in together. A hard-fought year, one that should not be forgotten by any means for Kalaheo. They finish at 7-2. This is a program that has continued to rise under Jameson Lee, and is just his fourth season, and you saw just how good they could be this year. You hope that they can carry that on through into the future.
Our last order of business tonight is to award our Fun Factory VIP of the game, essentially our Player of the Game award. And before Paul gives that award away, we want to remind you that you too can become a Fun Factory VIP when you accumulate $100 or more at your favorite Fun Factory location. You'll receive VIP bragging rights, plus discount pricing on games and more. Visit funfactorygames.com for more info. Now, Paul Brecht, who is our Fun Factory VIP of the game?
Well, I always do this. I can't tell you right away who it was, but I'll give you the runners-up where you look at it and really just a great night for Pearl City's defense, and a big reason for that. Keali'i Omana Keola, the safety, he ends up forcing both turnovers tonight for the defense, had the punch out on the forced fumble on the Lock Mormon run, and then also came up with the interception of Mormon on that final drive. So a great night for him, but ultimately comes up just a little bit short. Also coming up a little bit short of our honors is, of course, Mr. Aiden Minami, who had a couple of massive runs, but unfortunately couldn't find pay dirt. It ends up going to his backfield mate, Alohi Gasper. That's our VIP of the game, as Gasper goes for 133 yards and a hat trick of touchdowns. Just a junior, but looking like a vet here tonight as he leads the Pearl City Chargers into the championship game for Division II in the OIA.
So a fun night of football in the books. Obviously, not a lot of fun for Kalaheo as their coaches are consoling one another, their players fighting back tears on the sideline. But a great season nonetheless by the Mustangs, and Pearl City with the 24-7 victory, moving on to the D2 Championship. Before we go, we want to remind you to tune in next week, a week from today, Friday, November 7th at 7 p.m., as we'll have the OIA D1 Championship game between the winner of Waianae happening tomorrow and Kailua Waipahu happening tomorrow as well. So those winners will meet right here on HSRN for the D1 crown. That's next week, Friday, 7 p.m., right here on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network. Our last order of business is to give our much-deserved mahalos. Ku'ule Agbayani, awesome job in the studio, keeping us on track and on time. Great job as well. Tune in for her and Paul and Michael every weekday morning for Wake Up in the Den, 8 to 10 a.m. here on HSRN. Speaking of Michael Lascaro, we got to give him some props too.
Shout out to him.
Because Pearl City bolted to their bus to give away our VIP of the game from Fun Factory, Michael sprinted I would say close to 70 yards to make sure that award got handed off to Mr. Gaspar. So props to Michael for all his work, his photos, videos, stats. He does it all here at HSRN. Big mahalo to you, Michael. Of course, the Farrington Athletic Department and athletic staff always helping us out here at Farrington High School. And of course, Paul Brecht, great job, my friend. I'll give you the last word before we head out for a little late trick-or-treating here on an Aloha Football Friday.
Well, just another lovely night for football, and I'm glad you gave all the shout-outs that you did, because you can't have the high school sports seasons without so many people contributing to make sure these opportunities are there for these kids, and just very appreciative of everyone's hard work all throughout this high school football season. We're not quite all POW yet, but soon football will be POW here on HSRN for the year. So excited that we got a pretty fun one here to close things out in the semis in OIA Division 2.
So that'll put an end to this one. Pearl City moves on 24-7 with the victory over Kalaheo. Again, join us next week for the D1 Championship. But until then, take care, everyone, especially tonight. Be safe. Take care of one another. I'm Kyle Galdera. Aloha!
You've been listening to Ko'olau Federal Credit Union's special presentation of OIA football on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network. Brought to you by Hawaii Pacific Health, Dial Electric Supply, Fun Factory, and DSE Hawaii. We now return you to regularly scheduled programming on HSRN 95.1 FM, AM 760, and HawaiiSportsRadio.com.